What we do here is go back.
I'm pretty sure it's working. Who knows? Anyway, good evening. Mike here, Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To. It is Saturday the 13th of September 2025. Hopefully you're all having a fantastic weekend wherever in the world you may be, and thank you all for joining us on what is a rather cold, wet and windy UK evening. No change there, some would say. Hopefully you can all hear me and or see me. If you could let me know in the chat if everything is coming through and we are 5 in 5, I think is that the terminology that people use? I don't know. I make it up as I go along. As some of you are probably aware. Looks like it's working. Matthew Day says his dinner's only just going on. Late dinner for you. Dutch Jan says it's all good. Michael says it's all good. Rick says Mike is live and loud and clear. Excellent. 5x5. Thank you very much. Let's make sure the overhead is working. That appears to be absolutely fine. Grand stuff. And the stream desktop. Yep, that appears to be working as well. Happy days. So, again, thank you all for joining us on this Saturday evening. Tonight in the stream, we'll be taking a look at the Phanteks Eclipse G370A, which has been a case which actually a lot of you have recommended over the last few months since it came out. And yeah, bit the bullet, went for it. £55 plus, I think, £3.99 postage from overclockers.co.uk here in the United Kingdom. It would appear that £55 is the MSRP for that case as it stands, so yeah, didn't particularly get a deal. It just seems like arguably a reasonable price for a Phanteks branded case, but is it actually any good? Does it live up to the Phanteks quality and hype? No doubt we will find out as the stream goes on. Now, spoiler alert, I have had a look at it already, so some of the pros and cons I am already fully aware of which there are a few of each, to be fair. It is going to be a somewhat balanced overview and review, and potentially we'll be getting a build done or possibly just started. I've got a few things that I need to kind of work out in my head how I'm going to go about this, but certainly we will be taking an in-depth look at the case. So if potentially you're thinking of getting the Phanteks Eclipse G370A, long name, for your next PC build, then hopefully this stream will give you all the answers you need, which is pretty good, seeing it's all for free. Excellent stuff. Also, we'll be taking a look at some of the recent Discord bot eBay bargains that we've managed to pick up, and I know that some of you out there have as well. Some of you got some absolutely fantastic deals, and some of them I am deeply envious of. Last week, our good friend Dave Aitken got an absolutely smashing deal on a B850 motherboard. I think it's a B850, like $79.99. Absolutely outstanding. I was really miffed about that one, but it's gone to a good home, so yeah, it's all good. And on the flip side, I've managed to pick up some deals of my own this week, such as some of these items you can see here, one of which is a little bit of an oddball, which I didn't actually list in the video description. This is a delidded 9600X, which actually came through the post with the lid very delidded, let's say. So I hope it still works. I have messaged the person on eBay to say, look, and I sent them some pictures, say, look, this is how it arrived. I just want you to know in advance that Every, who are the UK delivery arm over here for this particular purchase, basically, I think they must have been using it as a frisbee or a football or maybe to wedge a door. I honestly don't know. It didn't come through exactly as intended, which was a shame because actually it was really well packaged. There was even some tape around the clamshell. I've actually put it into a different clamshell, one that fits slightly better now because the other one was a little bit damaged. So yeah, delidding CPUs, is that still a thing? Apparently it is. The reason they sold this CPU actually, well, at least the description they gave, was the fact that they wanted to practice delidding on a cheaper CPU before they did it on their 9950X3D. So yeah, how the other half live, eh? But I got a bargain, and I'm pretty sure I paid approximately £120 for a 9600X, which has been delidded and now has some what's the metal paste?
Thermal.
Liquid metal. It's got some liquid metal on it now, so whether it's going to work any good, whether the bond has been broken and is not good, I don't know. Honestly, don't know. I'm not entirely sure why people delid them, because I think at the moment they use a solder between the IHS and the actual die anyway, which is generally pretty good. So yeah, these are extreme overclockers. What can you say? Anyway, thanks for those of you that have joined us. Happy days. There's a weird thing at the moment. Some of you have probably, well, some of you may have heard about it already. There's a very, very strange thing going on with YouTube and the way it reports views. Now, it actually started for me last Saturday, and I noticed it on a couple of other channels that I watch. And I was looking at their Saturday release videos and some of the kind of Friday evening ones. I'm thinking those views look really low. Like, I know it's back to school time, it's wintry, it's, yeah, that time of year. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world at the moment, so people don't necessarily have the time or the energy or even the will to sit down and watch YouTube videos for hours on end. But it did seem that
usually they go up at this time of year.
Yeah, traditionally, just after the school holidays are finished, the views go straight back up.
Halfway through them, usually.
Yeah, normally it starts picking up again sort of mid-August. But it's actually gone the other way round, and the views seem to be really low, like really, really low, almost to the point of like, is there something desperately wrong? It doesn't seem that there is, because the revenue and the kind of viewer retention and subscribers are actually, yeah, on the up, which is also a little bit weird. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure what is going on. No doubt in the coming weeks, days, months, or whatever, we'll find out what it is. There's lots of hypothesis what is going on, whether it's YouTube are not counting views if you're on or using some form of ad blocker, whether you're accessing the content through a restricted account, which some people have said that is now the default, which it isn't. Essentially, if you're not logged into YouTube as an adult, then it will go into like restricted mode, so it won't show you ads, that sort of stuff, and maybe we're not seeing views from that. I have no idea. It's very, very strange stuff, but like other channels such as Hardware Unboxed who've noticed it to a larger extent, also Linus Tech Tips and various others, kind of we're all in the same boat where the views seem to have kind of fallen off a cliff, but the revenue and the kind of interaction doesn't appear to have changed desperately. I have noticed there are fewer comments on videos, that I will say, but I'm guessing as long as the revenue remains the same, then like whatever. It's always nice because when you release a video, you make a video, obviously you want people to watch it. That's the whole point of it. And you look at the view count as a immediate metric to how well the video is doing. And it's really kind of not upsetting, but it starts to ring alarm bells when your videos aren't getting the views that you assume they would do for the type of content you're doing. So
imagine them to sort of stay the same or go up because you're making, say, 300 videos a year extra from previous years.
Yeah.
So you'd expect them sort of.
Yeah, you would expect figures to gradually climb more so rather than flatline, because yeah, we're adding more videos every week to the kind of the communal pot of videos. But it seems like the last probably 3 to 4 years, it's always remained relatively constant, with a few peaks and troughs here and there, which are the seasonal ones. But yeah, I don't know what is going on. It's very weird. Who knows? Strange things. Yeah, David Under says YouTube views may be lower because of less bots and kids. I think the bot views have significantly dropped. I'm pretty sure that is why the figures in terms of interaction and the kind of revenue has remained the same, but the view count has dropped off because there doesn't seem to be any bot views. We used to get literally from the moment a video went live, you would get at least 3 to 5 bot comments straight away. The typical one, which is always in the shape of a buttock, I think it was. I'm not too sure. You can never really zoom in on it. Not that I really want to, but it looks like an arse. And this is a very typical one that we quite often get on our channel. It's basically a picture of an arse, and it says something really like stupid that a viewer wouldn't normally say, at least not 99% of them anyway.
Not about that video.
yeah, not about the videos. Like, I laughed so hard, my dog thought I was dying or having a fit or something. Just really weird, bizarre stuff. And it's like, why would you laugh your ass off at a video for a VPN? VPNs aren't funny. At least the last time I looked, there was no humour involved in VPNs. Unless it's a visible panty line. No, that's a L, not an L. Yeah, ignore that. So that's not funny either. Anyway, that is where we are at. It's been some, yeah, it's been some funny times. And obviously, there's things going on in the world here in the UK. There's lots of, yeah, political stuff going on, and obviously, unless you've lived under a rock, the things that are going on in America at the moment, which I'm not going to get into because it's just one of those things which is so polarizing to communities that it's best left to those types of communities that like to debate that sort of thing. If you wish to talk about it with other people in the chat, you're more than welcome to, but I'm going to do my very best not to get drawn into it because it's not what needs to be discussed on a tech channel. Yes, I know we do our streams where it's kind of like we're all down the pub just having a chat and then that sort of thing, but I think that is taking things a little bit too far for a conversation in a stream. Hopefully you'll understand I'm not taking sides as such. Yeah, less said about it the better, I think. Hopefully we get some good questions as the stream goes on. There's one already from King. It says, Mike, please tell me, AMD or Intel better to build? I always get this question. Yeah, it's one of those questions that are very difficult to answer because there's so many things. Like, arguably, the easy answer at the moment is AMD. AMD generally tends to be a little bit cheaper, a little bit faster, runs a little bit cooler, and generally, for gaming purposes, will perform better. Now, if you take gaming out of the equation and just for general use purposes, possibly productivity work, production stuff, music creation, that sort of thing, then arguably you would say that Intel is probably going to be your safer bet. Intel, I would argue, also in terms of drivers for the actual platform itself, in terms of the chipset, the processor and things like that, very stable driver releases. Extremely stable. I cannot remember the last time there was a problem with an Intel chipset driver. I don't think it's ever happened. Not to my immediate knowledge. I would have to research it, but I do not recall there ever being an issue with Intel drivers on the platform level. Graphics card, yeah, that's a different thing altogether. But in terms of software, Intel drivers, generally you can just install them and kind of almost forget about it. They are that stable. Whereas on AMD's side of the fence, we have seen numerous times where there's been a driver update which has caused problems, or there has been a vulnerability in the software, or because it's part of the kind of the all-in-one driver with the graphics card rolled in, there's been various different issues with the Adrenalin software, various issues with Ryzen Master, etc., where it's kind of massively overclocked the processor when it shouldn't have done, or conversely has massively reduced the performance. So I would argue if you're looking at a production environment, then Intel is probably going to be your safer bet in the long run. AMD are still a good thing to do, and basically most of the PCs that I build these days and the PCs I sell, they're all AMD, because people generally for gaming just want a nice, cheap, cost-effective system which isn't going to cause too many problems and isn't going to break the bank. And AMD, especially with the processors you can get from AliExpress, as we keep on recommending, they're just incredible value for money, almost borderline criminal value. They are so much cheaper from AliExpress. Now, obviously, the usual caveats apply. Make sure you're using a form of payment which you can easily get refunded should anything go wrong, should the parcel or item go missing. Make sure you're spending the right amount so that you don't pay taxes, local taxes, when it arrives. Generally here in the UK, if you spend under £135, you pay the VAT and taxes actually whilst you're making the transaction. If you're spending more than £135, it is basically down to the seller. They can choose to bill you then and there, or they can send it without taxes applied, and potentially, depending on who the courier is in the UK, you may actually be asked to pay a customs charge plus an administration fee for getting that customs charge from your courier or carrier, as it may be. So yeah, it's not an easy answer. It's 5 of one, 5 of another. It's very much a difficult thing to do, depending what you want to do. I personally like the fact that AMD, the socket has stayed the same over multiple generations previously, and looks like it probably will do for the AM5 sockets and AM5 Plus when it arrives. So there's certainly an amount of longevity, although again, there's always that argument of, do people actually upgrade processors? Or do people just wait until the PC is too slow and then they upgrade the whole platform? Actually, let me know in the chat. Do you, as a rule, generally, now this is actually going to be quite good because most of you are what I would consider to be enthusiasts, or at least wannabe enthusiasts. So your kind of demographic is perfect for answering this question. So do you look towards upgrading your CPU and maybe your GPU, but leave your actual motherboard platform in place and just swap out a processor? Or do you generally just take out the whole lot and start over? I am actually very interested to hear what your answer is, so make sure you you put in the comments what you actually do. Sinister Chef says, hope you're doing well, Mike and Kath. Yeah, not doing too bad, thank you very much.
Skystalker's babysitting a newborn. Is he a new
Oh,
granddad
Skystalker's a new granddad again?
again? No, is he?
Is he? Maybe?
Ask.
I did just then.
That
I
was
think.
a very clear question. I didn't
Okay.
understand what you were talking. What language is that?
King says, thank you, Mike, that really helps. I don't think it did, but hopefully it's clarified your kind of rationale behind the decision. Gers, how you doing, Gers? 1987. Wonder what year you were born. Question, with the current shortage in AMD X3D CPUs, is it worth upgrading from a 5600 to another AM4? That is actually a good question, and actually is one I often contemplate myself, to be fair. The 5600 is a really good processor, and actually, just to kind of double down on that, just up here above me, I have got 2 AM4 processors, which I've crudely written on in silver pen. I've got a 5600, which I don't know if it's going to catch the light and you can see it. And I've also got a 5700X. Now both of these were from AliExpress, very good prices, and actually not a lot of difference between them in terms of their raw performance for gaming. But if you're doing something else other than gaming, you're looking at 6 cores versus 8 cores. So that can make a very small difference in some productivity titles, and some people just like to have a higher tier processor. 5600 is fine for gaming for pretty much everybody, up to around about a 4080 level performance, 5070 Ti, that kind of thing. 5700X, obviously a little bit more grunt. Quite easily you could match that with a 4090 if you wanted to, 5090. Probably a little bit out of balance, but ideally you'd probably want an X3D. But essentially, yeah, I know where you're coming from. If I had a 5600, depending on what I was doing and what I needed to do, yeah, I think I would be in a very much a quandary, because if it's just gaming, there probably isn't a great deal worth upgrading to, other than like you said, a X3D processor, which they are becoming slightly more scarce. I'll be honest, this is the first time I actually heard about it specifically, that there are shortages in the X3D lineup. Whether that is because they're going more into the AM5, and obviously AM4 is taking more of a back seat. Having said that, AMD have recently released the 5500 X3D, which, if you think about it, 5500 is less than a 5600. So yeah, it's a difficult one. I don't really know where you'd go from. If you're on a 5600 or 5600X, realistically, other than the X3D parts for gaming, those arguably are probably the only real justifiable upgrades. If you're using it for productivity tasks, then yeah, more cores like the 5700, maybe going up to 5900, possibly 5950. But there probably isn't a great deal of point if you're just gaming. And if you are gaming, with prices as they are at the moment, DDR4 prices are ridiculous, especially on the new market. The motherboard prices are almost the same in some instances, so if you can pick up a cheap AM5 processor on AliExpress for 130, 150 pounds for a 7600 or 7700, I think that is going to be the logical step forward, because not only are you going to get the better platform, you're going to get more longevity because you can still upgrade it further, whereas on AM4,
just gaming mainly,
there probably isn't really anything you can go to other than like the 5700X 3D, which would be an improvement. But then that's it. You've kind of got yourself into a little bit of a dead end. Arguably, I would say, yeah, if you're on a 5600, either wait until the 5700X 3D comes back in stock and it's cheap, or spend the money elsewhere. Maybe well, depending on the motherboard you've got, if you've got a decent B550, then you're pretty much good there. Maybe an extra 16 gigs of RAM if you're on 16 gigs to up it to 32. Maybe sell your 16 gig, buy 32 gig kit used. Those are coming up cheap on the used market because people are abandoning the AM4 platform to go to AM5. So there is stuff available. It's a tough one. It is a tough one. And it's something which I quite often hark back to, is the fact that even the generational leaps in terms of even the platform leaps, so from like AM4 to AM5, from LGA 11.5X up to 1200, and from 1200 to 1700, and from 1700 to 1851, the differences in terms of performance is very low, like 5 to 10% in general, maybe 15% if you're lucky for a platform. So is it really worth it? And again, if you're looking at games that are currently getting 100 to 150 FPS, would you notice an extra 15 to 20% improvement in performance? Going from like 120 FPS for argument's sake to 150, you're probably not going to notice that at all. Maybe if you've got some games which are kind of marginal and they're just about hitting 60, then yeah, to knock you up to kind of closer to 70, 75 FPS might be beneficial. But these days, with the technologies such as FSR, DLSS, frame scaling in general, resolution scaling, it's easier really just to knock that down or up a bit, depending on which way you're looking at it, rather than spending money on a new partial platform upgrade. Which is a terrible thing to say, really, because this is a tech channel and we're supposed to be saying, yeah, get the latest and greatest things because it's going to improve your life and everything will be great. But the reality is it won't be. It doesn't really make a great deal of difference. I don't think I've ever noticed much of a difference since I went from, I think I went from a 3600 to a 3900X. And that was like, oh wow, that is different. It was a much bigger jump than I assumed it would be. But after the 3900X, like going from that to, what did I go to after that? I can't even remember now. I think, did I go to M5 or did I go to Intel? I probably went to Intel like a 12900 or 12700. And yeah, it just, the generational changes have been like, yes, it's nice because it's new and it's shiny, but it hasn't really improved anything that has been kind of really outstanding. It's just been, yeah, if I benchmark it, it gets better scores, but reality is if I had both PCs in front of me, I probably wouldn't know the difference. I think there's a lot of people in that position. Gur says, I want to stick to AM4 if possible. Yeah, if you want to stick to AM4, realistically, you're going to have to wait it out, wait for a 5800X3D or 5700X3D to become available and at a sensible price. The thing is, the Ryzen 7 7700, in terms of most games, is roughly the same as a 5700X3D stroke 5800X3D. There isn't a massive amount of difference. The X3D was probably going to have better 1% lows, but in general, you probably wouldn't notice the difference. So if you're spending more than £150 on a 5700X 3D or 5800X 3D, you're probably better off just buying a new platform and going for the AM5. That is my honest opinion on it. I don't see the point of investing another £150 on AM4 at this point in time. But it depends what your mood is, what your bank balance is like, and your feelings towards the new technology. course, obviously, if you go for AM5, you're looking at new DDR5, but DDR5 is almost the same price as DDR4, new at the moment. Yeah, I'm kind of repeating myself a little bit now, so that'll be it. I think that's hopefully answered your question to some extent. There's Dave Aiken. How you doing, Dave? Gur says, thanks, Mike. It really is tricky what to do. I just hope to get an X3D at a decent price. I think, honestly, that is the thing to do. Just wait it out. Like, you've got a decent processor. You can play your games. You don't need to rush into an upgrade. You really don't. Yes, it's nice to do. I would say probably closer towards October, November, we're going to see a big flood on the market of AM4 processors for the big clear out. That's my opinion. I could be wrong. Hi, Cool Cat. Hey, Jason Woods. How you doing, Jason Woods? Jason Woods, I must apologise. I haven't sent your disc back. It is on my to-do list. Kath's turning around. She's perched. She's almost going to grab it off me now. It's literally there. I'm keeping it safe away from all the cats and everything on the shelf. So I have got your game disc. I will send it out. Probably be Monday. So it will go out. Don't worry. And also, Jason Woods, massive shout out already. This video hasn't gone live yet, but Jason Woods...
It is on Patreon.
Oh, it's just gone out on Patreons, apparently. Jason sent us in a PC. So Jason used to run a company called Love Bug Computers. And over his tenure, he built in the region of about 300 plus computers. And PC number 4, which was ordered and basically never got to see its intended owner, Jason kindly sent the PC to us to take a look at, to give it a review and a once-over and an honest opinion. So I have done that. There is a video out, so you can watch that and see what the deal is. It's a very discreet PC, so it's going to be suitable for in an office, in a home, behind a TV, media center, whatever, and also for some relatively lightweight gaming. It's a good video, actually. I would strongly suggest you check it out. There's some interesting points there. And it's also good to see what type of PCs other people will build for a certain sort of price point. If I'm right in saying the PC was supposedly going to retail for, I think it's $495, including VAT, which I priced up the parts as of today's value, and I got to somewhere in the sort of 430, 450 mark. So I'm not too sure how long ago it was actually priced up to be sold, but regardless, it's an interesting video, and yeah, I strongly suggest you check it out when you can. And again, massive shout out and thanks to Jason. Now, there is, when the video goes out, Jason's actually kindly given us the PC and suggested that when we're done with it, to sell it on and give a donation to a charity. I believe he said it was cancer research. So yeah, potentially there will be some sort, either we might do a raffle or I might just sell it on Facebook. I'm not too sure of the logistics of it. I've got a couple of ideas, but also I want your input as viewers. When you see the video, I want you to tell me honestly, should I leave the PC as it is? And don't worry, you won't offend Jason. He's not that kind of guy. Let us know what you think. Should I change anything on it? Should I leave it as it is? Honest opinions in the video, please, and those will be appreciated. And then depending on what your overall kind of feeling is towards it, I'll go with the majority. If you say change it, I'll change, I don't know, the case or graphics card or whatever. Whatever you guys think is going to be something which is going to help me to then sell the PC, and then so we can generate some income so we can give it to a charity. Everyone's a winner. And again, massive shout out to Jason for that. It is much appreciated. Sinister Chef says do an auction. Dutch Jan says change the case. He would say that. He hasn't even seen it yet. Oh dear.
I don't know, Dutch Jan might have watched the video already.
Oh, Dutch Jan might have seen it actually. Yeah, that's true. So yeah, we'll see. Dave says new case. It's cool, but I think something more flashy if it's a giveaway. Yeah.
Are they talking about the case that's showing on the video?
Yeah, you want about the case that is on here, or have you actually watched the video
Of Jason Woods'
of Jason Woods' PC? Anyway, we're jumping the gun a little bit, so we'll see. So again, massive shout out and thank you to everyone who's joined us tonight. It looks like even though the view count is generally down, it looks like we're doing pretty well. We've almost got 100 concurrent viewers,
Mine says 53.
which is good. It's always nice to know that there are actually people out there watching and I'm not just here chatting to myself. I'm looking in the studio view. Yeah, see that? There's the thing. So on the studio view that I look at, it says 95 viewers. On Kath's view, on her screen, it says 50 what?
53.
53. So like half the viewers. It's bizarre. Very strange. Alright, Dave Aiken says, I saw the video and I saw it in your hallway. Fair enough. Ladios says, changing case and making custom cables is always the best move. No worries. And Jason there says, anytime mate, no problem.
Oh, there's all, they say 96.
Yeah, they're saying 96. Yeah, you probably need to refresh your screen. You probably, how many likes is it showing?
2, because I'm refreshing.
2 likes. Come on, you lot. Get off your asses, get your keyboard and mouse and click on the like button.
That was before it even went live.
Where's the video? I'm going to click on it myself.
I've already done that. Now it says 93.
93, yeah, that's fine.
And 41 likes.
40, there we go, that's better. Half of you have done it. Arthur says, I love your work, man, 100%, keep up the good work. Thank you very much. I will. We'll try. We'll keep going, regardless of YouTube
It says
doing what I'm doing.
34 likes for me.
Oh, excellent. Ladios is obviously watching someone else.
I've got your voice running through it.
Dave Vendor says, my favourite charity is a 70-year-old guy saving for a Mega AM5 build.
So, should we say my favourite charity? Shout out now, you've got loads of people.
Actually, yeah, Kath's favourite charity and our favourite charity. This is a shameless plug. Well, it's not shameless, but we really do think that she needs some help. So, a good friend of ours over in Canada. I say good friend, we've never met them, but, you know, online stuff.
Helped me so much.
Very, very helpful. Her name's Patricia.
Wait a second.
Oh,
We'll go back to that one.
but we'll be back to that in a minute. Andy Archer sent 5 Mike's Unboxing Reviews and how-to memberships. Thank you very much, Andy Archer. Very much appreciated, sir. We salute you. And that is Roderick Kennedy has got one, Jay's got one, ML Tex, Sodius J2K, and Robert Prulux. There you go. Thank you very much, Andy Archer. Much appreciated. Mark Berry says nearly 150k subs, Mike and Kath. Yep, hopefully we'll be there by Christmas.
We wanted
Should
it
be
by Christmas, but we've been working out thinking, well,
Yeah,
won't we?
we hoped we'd get to 150k by Christmas. That was kind of like
We
the
say Christmas, but this year.
estimation. Yeah, Christmas this year.
No, but by the end of this year.
I think we got our 100k, not last year, the year before. And I think we got about 126 by the end of last year.
What date does it say on there?
Doesn't. They don't date it.
Don't they date it?
No, I wish they did actually. Yeah, so hopefully we'll get to 150k roughly around Christmas time. We should do. We normally get around about 1,800 to 2,000 subs a month-ish. So unless there's a major YouTube glitch, we should technically see it probably November, I think. But we'll see. We'll say Christmas because you never know what's going to happen. There might be a mass exodus. I might say something stupid on the channel and get deplatformed or something. So you never know. It's not unheard of. It does happen. Anyway, so back to what we're saying. So good friend of ours, Patricia, she runs a no-kill cat and dog, well, basically an animal shelter over in the, what province is it in Canada? Do you know? I'm not sure of the province, but it's in Canada. Basically, she is struggling. There's been all kinds of stuff going on over there. She's looking after kind of geriatric cats and dogs where essentially if they were anywhere else, they would be, well, sleepy pool, let's say, which is never a good thing for any animal. So she's doing her best to help them out. So if you can go to the link in the video description, or you can just go to ko-fi.com or coffee.com /Patricia, and you can sit on there and you can read the story. If you want to donate, great. If you don't, that's absolutely fine. But just to go over, read it, show some support, leave a like or something, whatever. Every little helps, because at the moment she is literally at her wit's end. They are potentially going to be taking her home away from her, which her home is also part of the sanctuary.
You know, it's not part
well,
of it.
She takes a lot of the animals from the sanctuary to her home
She
for
makes our cat
extra care,
odious,
etc.
very little.
So yeah,
She has a lot of cats.
there's a lot of stuff going on. So if you can help, fantastic. I won't ask again. That is going to be it for the stream. But if you can help, it would be fantastic. Right, where are we now? Mark Berry says, my next door neighbour is a YouTuber on nearly 250k. Not been doing it long though. Wow. 250k in a short period of time. That is good. There's some strange little niches which, if you can get into them, you can really motor in YouTube. The ones that I noticed do really well are...
We know it's not little or oldie.
Yeah, not little or oldie. Renovation things and anything to do with building trades. So like heating, plumbing, engineering, woodwork, crafts, that kind of stuff. Building in general. Those channels do amazing. They really do take off very quickly. So yeah, the tech kind of space is ridiculously crowded. It's so difficult to get any kind of foothold in the tech space. Depending where you are as well regionally, that doesn't help. Thank you, Jason Woods. Not only is he giving us a PC, he's also give us a £6 donation as well. It says party. Thank you much, Jason Woods. Have some flashy lights.
Why is this? Remove this light.
Danmar says, maybe you could appeal to Girl with the Dogs. She's awesome. She might be able to help Patricia. I don't know who that is, but I will potentially get Kath to look into it and pass that on to Patricia. They talk about pet stuff all the time. I try to not get involved because I don't know.
Unless she needs tech help.
Yeah, unless she needs some tech help, in which case I'm very happy to help. And happy to donate money. We've donated a bit of money, not a massive amount, just a token gesture. And I think we're going to do another one later on today as well, just to try and push the figures up. David Andrew says, I just gave the animal shelter $20. Thank you, David. That is much appreciated. Bless you. Rasher says, it's time to get the nipple pasties on, Mike. Yeah, there goes the channel. Susan Robbins says, I have a friend who runs a cat sanctuary here in California. Yeah, and I'm guessing it's, if she ever speaks to you about it, the kind of the financial side of things and the hardships, it's not an easy thing to do.
They're not kept in cages. They're free ranging.
They're free range and rule fed as well. So yeah, it's a really, to be honest with you, if I had an aging pet which had to go somewhere, Patricia's Sanctuary sounds like amazing for their kind of the last leg of their journey, so to speak, before they get either rehomed or don't get rehomed, if you understand what I mean. If they kind of live out the rest of their lives, it's an amazing place. Really well fed, really well looked after, loads of care and attention. Anything they need, they just get it done. But obviously that comes at a cost, so if you can help out, it'll be awesome. Ira Wolfman says, Irish aren't smart enough for tech YouTube, they still struggle with a VCR. Most people struggle with a VCR. I was in the kind of the pinnacle of the VCR generation. So when video cassette recorders came out, I was probably in the UK more so, because it's a little bit later on in the States. But it was kind of like the very early 80s, mid 80s through to the 90s, where I was going from my somewhere between 10 and my teens. So I was kind of like the whiz kid. So I could operate a VCR almost with my eyes closed. So it's really handy for family members and basically just anybody in general trying to work out how to use a VCR. It's weird actually. I've followed a lot of the trends. VCRs, I was really into that. Computers, consoles, really into that. What will be next? AI? No, never. Right. Anyway, I'm digressing now. Let's have a look at some of these bargains I picked up this week. So if you don't know already, I'll put a link in the chat for our Discord. On our Discord, we have got this fantastic AI bot. It's not AI, it's programmed. It's not got any artificial intelligence at all, other than the fact that it posts messages to the server. That's the only thing which is actually AI about it, I think.
Can you say I put the link for the shelter in the
Oh yeah, Kath's put the link for the shelter in the chat as well.
I think Dan Marr's looking at for it.
It's Kath's just like, actually I'll put it on the screen for you as well. Oh, I've clicked on the link by mistake rather than actually clicking on the comment. Rip. Has that worked? Yes, there we go. So it's on the screen for you now. There's a link for the shelter. And did I put the one for the Discord? Did that come up? Betamax, yes, great. So there's a link for our Discord if you want to join in. The Discord bot is excellent. So basically what it does, there's a preset group of parts and prices with kind of like the sweet spot for pricing. If an item comes up, it's just been listed, it comes up. If it's a buy it now, it'll come up and it'll say buy it now. If it's auction, it's designed to kind of kick in on the Discord about 15 minutes before the end of the auction. 15 or 10, I can't remember. I think it's 15. So essentially, if you're in the Discord and you're in the eBay room, or you're subscribed to it, so to speak, you can choose which categories you subscribe to. You basically get a notification, and it's deadly. It is really deadly, because I end up just buying stuff, especially if I can get to it before Dave Aitken does. I'm never going to let that one down. So yeah, it's really good stuff. So this week I managed to get, well, I'm not too sure if this was a bargain or not. So this is a palette graphics card. This is the Storm X 12 gig card. This is an RTX 3060. Now I paid for this, including shipping and the eBay insurance, £129, which I feel was actually a pretty decent price. They tend to go for somewhere about the sort of £150 to £200 mark for some bizarre reason. So anything under 150 I would consider to be pretty much a bargain. Now this one is actually one of the more sought after ones because it's a mini ITX version. So it's a very small card, but it's got a very big fan. So it doesn't sound like a screaming banshee. It's just nice and cool and quiet. And of course has got that preferential 12 gigs of VRAM rather than the normal 8, which can be a little bit more limiting. Now obviously, with an RTX 3060, you're probably not going to be playing games at particularly high resolutions anyway, but if you want to play games at 1080p or maybe even 1440p with the texture settings higher than you would normally, then this is a great option. And again, for mini ITX PCs, very cool indeed. So let's take it out of the box and we'll have a little look-see and see what it's all about. I'll move my Mike's unboxing pens. Free Speech is Dead says, night everybody, have a great weekend. You too. Thanks for stopping by. Let's go to the overhead and have a look. Matthew Day says, got a system in mind for it. I don't at present. I have still got the mini 3D printed PC, which is actually underneath the TV, well, behind the TV in the front room. But it doesn't really get used, but I did consider putting it in that. But we'll see. I might just end up putting it in a full-size case anyway, because it doesn't look too bad at all, I don't think. So there we go. It's a palette card, and I think that is probably about 100mm fan, I think. Maybe a 92. Let's have a look. What have we got? Yeah, it's about a 90... Well, yeah, you'd probably call that 100mm. So it's got a 100mm fan on there, so... Yeah, nice big fan blades, and the fan blades and the actual bearing are all in excellent condition, so that's really good. No back plate on it, which I guess doesn't really make a great deal of difference, and also it's not been tampered with because it still has the tamper screw intact. It's relatively clean, looks like it's been quite well looked after. Single 8-pin connector, as you'd expect from a 3060. Well, yeah, I thought that was a pretty good deal. This roughly is not far off performance-wise from the Intel B580. And those are still going for kind of 200 plus pounds. So for 130 pounds, I think this is actually a pretty good shout. And for the right person, especially if they're looking at a mini ITX build, then yeah, this would be very valuable indeed. I kind of wish I'd got a bigger card now, but it's 130 pounds, pretty decent performance, not a bad looking card, pretty adequate, well, yeah, adequate cooling. Poppy, leave him alone. Plenty of heat pipes, got 3 heat pipes in there. So yeah, I think it's not a bad card. Susan Robbins says, repaste that card. I probably will have, but I'm going to have to benchmark it and make sure it all works. I haven't tested this yet because it only arrived yesterday and I was a bit busy. So I haven't got around to doing that yet. But I just wanted to show you, £130. I think that's a pretty good card and pretty good value for money. Arguably, I could take it today to CEX and probably get my money back at least, if not more. So I wouldn't be losing out. So there we go. There is the that's the first of the bargains, and probably the most interesting one. Susan Romer says that is a very good deal. Oh, thank you. I thought it was. I was kind of unsure when I was waiting for it to come through, and I am actually waiting for another card to come through, which I won, which is, oh, come on, get in the box. I do unboxing, not reboxing. Yeah, nice to have a tiny card, especially when there's so many cards on the market which are absolutely ridiculously large for no real reason. It's got some sort of stock code on there, 300984. Not sure if anybody recognises that barcode or where that may be from in terms of a retailer. Got this on the back. That is from Palette. It says Palette GeForce RTX 3060, 12 gig. Maybe this has been a refurb. I'm not sure. Hopefully it works. But there you go. So that is the Palette StormX 12 gig 3060. £129, including postage and taxes. Next up, this is pretty generic stuff. It's got some Corsair Vengence DDR5 RAM. This, if I remember rightly, is DDR5 5600. I'm gonna have to get the lamp out to see what that actually is. I think it's 5600, so it's not really the sweet spot, but still not bad. Yeah, DDR5, 32 gigs, 2x16 kit, 5600 mega transfers, CL36, 36, 36, 76, running at 2.5 volts. So very nice. Nice look to them actually, the Vengence RAM. It's got a very, very nice heat spreader look on it. Nice design, and being kind of a grey, fits in with either a white build or a black build. And this was a pretty decent bargain. I paid £52 for a 32 gig kit. So yeah, that's essentially not far off half price if you were to buy them brand new. They generally tend to retail between the sort of £70 to £100 mark. So yeah, I feel that is a pretty good shout. Like that a lot. And that is going to go in the build for tonight if we actually do it. Now the next one, this is a slightly more interesting one in terms of it's kind of knackered. Let me see if I can zoom in a bit more. And we'll see how close we can get without it being hideously out of focus. So this is a Ryzen 5 9600X. Now this is one which, as I said earlier, this has actually been delidded. So that means someone's removed the heat sink or the casing off the top. It's actually quite loose, so it will come off. And it's actually had some liquid metal applied to it, as you can hopefully just about see. Now I am no expert when it comes to liquid metal, so is it something which needs to be reapplied every time you take it apart, or will it kind of naturally just kind of refill any gaps or anything? I have honestly no idea whatsoever. When it arrived in the post, it was kind of like that. So I'm hoping that the actual CPU core hasn't been damaged, although it's hard to tell with the liquid metal on there what has actually happened to it. So I am going to be testing that coming up shortly, not on this stream. I'll do this in the kind of the privacy of my own home in my own time. And actually, I need to make sure that I've actually put that back on around the right way. Actually, it can't go around the wrong way, can it? So anyway, let's just plonk that back roughly in place. And yeah, I am slightly concerned about it. What I think I'm going to have to do when I actually go to put it inside of a computer is I think I'm going to end up having to use one of the AM5 secure frames. And Rick, thank you very much. I just noticed what you just said there about a TF4. I will certainly let you know when we get low. I think we've still got quite a bit of it actually. So what I'll need to do is to use a contact frame, which then will hold that securely in place exactly where it needs to be. I think that is going to be a very wise thing to do, and it actually pushes down on those extra bits around the outside edges there. So that is going to keep that perfectly in place. So I might need to get another one of those. I want to get a black one or a grey one really to match the motherboards that it will be going into. But yes, I will be testing that in the very, oh god, I just felt that move. See, I would consider doing like some sort of direct die cooling, but there really isn't any point for this type of CPU. They don't run particularly hot anyway. I am slightly regretting this purchase, if I'm honest, but I think £120 was a pretty good price. Let me know what you think about that for 120 quid. iWolfman says not worth it for a 9600X. Oh, what, the cooling? Yeah, I think you're right. I think the price is excellent, £120. If it's essentially brand new, it's just been liquid metalled. David Underhill, liquid metal doesn't kill CPUs, people do. Yeah, that's true. Liquid metal can be scary stuff. Paint the surrounding components with clear nail polish. It does look like someone's actually done that. It did look like the actual surface mounted capacitors or diodes actually had something on them already. So yeah, we'll see. Viali says I got an AM5 frame on Temu for £7. It's the Thermalright one too. Dave Aiken says not worth it when the 7700s were 117 a few weeks back. I never got one for 117, I don't think. I missed out on that. I think I paid a bit more, about 125, something along those lines. But the 7700 against the 9600, the 9600 is definitely faster and is a better processor. And considering if you were to buy it from, like, obviously your normal everyday retailers, such as your Amazons, your CCLs, etc., I don't think you go too far wrong. It was somewhat of an experiment for me, to be honest. Why is that not zooming out? There, I'll zoom out. Look at my selection of Mike's Unboxing pens. I got the white one. I got the black one. I think every single one of them's actually got. Oh, there's another one. I got a palish one with rose gold. I've got another one with rose gold. There's a company called pens.com. They keep on sending me samples. I think at the moment my personal favourite is this one, in that kind of slightly brighter blue, which arguably that one is the closest to the logo. Although saying that, that one's actually pretty close as well. That was the OG. And I've got my Mike's Unboxing toolkit. So yeah, that is the kind of the newest one that we've got. I quite like that one. Nice and bright. Anyway, you can never say in this house, is anybody got a pen? Because there's so many of them. Right, let's go back to the main camera and I will zoom that out, maybe. It does something on there as well. Oh well, whatever. That'll do. Rasher says I'm halfway through my 6 yearly new build of an AM5 system. Is a frame recommended for the CPU and why? Not really. It's a nice to have. I like the frames because they relieve some of the pressure from the middle of the CPU because the pressure is kind of evenly distributed. It's nice because they prevent thermal paste getting down inside the processor as well. It's a personal preference thing, really. In some instances, it does actually make life harder, but for this kind of less than £10, I quite like them. I should have bought more, actually, when they were on offer. They did have them on AliExpress at one point for like £3.50. I was thinking, oh, should I just buy a load of them? And I didn't, and they then went up in price, which is rubbish. Anyway. Matthew Day says, so they send you samples with your logo. Yeah, because we bought from them before, they've had the logo, and yeah, I've asked them to do various things with the logo. I'm like, well, can you move it? And then they don't do it, and it like stretches it and does all sorts of weird stuff. I kind of like that one, the white one. You can't really see it, can you? Hopefully you can now. The white one's nice, I like that. Anyway, we're here for one reason, and one reason only. Because we can't find friends of our own. But aside from that, we want to take a look at this Phanteks case. So I'm going to go and get it. I'm going to have a drink actually, first of all, because my throat is getting a bit sore.
You okay, Oates? Your mum kicked you out of bed. She didn't get in it though, did she? She went in the box next to you.
Phil Stodds. How you doing, Phil? Are any of those pens a rolling writer Pentel pen? No. I don't think so.
This is a budget channel.
Yeah. Valley says, I found the frame was a more secure system. I do like the frames, I'll be honest with you, I do like them. There's been 1 or 2 instances where I've installed... What did I install? Yes, some of the Thermalright mounting equipment. So if, for example... Actually, no, that's a pointless thing, I'm not going to even say it. If you've got the Thermalright mounting kit, or most of them, to be honest with you, if you've got the mounting kit for like an AIO or most of the coolers, they've got that bracket, the kind of horseshoe-shaped bracket, top and bottom for AM5. And most of them, if you've got that installed, if you want to swap out the processor, you can't actually press down on the lever and move it around because it's in the way. But with the mounting bracket in place, you don't have that problem because you don't have the lever, so you can just undo the screws and take the CPU out. But it's a little bit more fiddly than just pressing down a lever or removing some brackets. So yeah, it's kind of neither here nor there. I do like them though because of the mess that I make with thermal paste on a daily basis almost. So yeah, I would personally get one. If it's a new build and you're not going to be doing much other with it than just leaving it in place, then yeah, I don't know. Debatable. Otis, stop being a butthead. Go on, Davey. Go and play with your buddy. Go and have a playtime outside. Oh, for God's sakes, Poppy.
What you've done to her.
Hi, I'm back. Right, let's go through some of the parts. First of all, they finally arrived. The Western Digital SN 580 finally arrived. Welly Bob reliably informs me that these things are like wafer thin. So I'm actually going to have a look because I don't think I've actually taken one of these out of the box yet. Maybe I did, I don't know. Oh my goodness, yeah, they are. The PCB is wow. It's actually not as flexy as I thought it was going to be. But yeah, there's not a lot on there. So it's literally one RAM chip and a controller and a couple of very small surface mount capacitors. There's not a lot to it, and it's certainly a single-sided drive. There's very little going on. But these were an absolute steal. Oh, cheers, Jason. Thanks again. The yeah, these were an absolutely stellar bargain. These were £35 on overclockers, I think. Was it overclockers? Someone have to correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure it was overclockers. But yeah, £35 for a PCI Express Gen 4 drive. Now, yes, it's not got DRAM cache. Whether that's important these days or not, I honestly don't know. But maybe it is, maybe it isn't. There's a super chat from good buddy Glenn. Thank you, Glenn. Much appreciated. Does he put a message there? Just a smiley face. That'll do me.
That's probably my singing.
Yeah. Thank you very much for that. It's much appreciated. Yeah, £35. I couldn't help myself. And I bought a couple. Actually, I thought I bought more than that. Where's the other one? I found two. Oh, no, there we go. I put it on the display up here. So I couldn't help myself. I had to get 3 of them at that price. 1 terabyte, 35 quid, like £3.99 postage. Can't go wrong, can you? So altogether, that was 70, 95, just under £100, I think it was, including postage. Like 98.99 or something, which is awesome. Realistically, you'd pay 100 quid for 2. These days, they're normally about 50 quid a pop for most of the drives. They were on a pre-order. I didn't get free postage. Why did I not get free postage?
Probably have to tick a box.
Yeah. Where's my... I'm sure I didn't get free postage. I'm pretty sure... I even used the PC part picker free postage thing as well.
Where did you get it on?
Overclocker, what? PayPal, it probably was actually, yeah.
Where?
I'm sure it is $98.99. It's probably in the receipts because I've only just had the receipt come through as well. So it'd be towards the top date-wise because they only got sent out a couple of days ago.
I'm doing the payment.
Oh, right, okay. Cash finding the payment just to see if I'm completely wrong.
Actually, it'd be better, won't it? So you've had the receipt. Where is it? In the taxes or?
In the taxes folder, yeah. Should be towards the top of the taxes folder.
That'd be better because mine probably won't show, will it?
Rick says, yes, ours was free postage. Discount code for free. Yeah, I did. I thought I tried using that and it didn't let me do it. I think. Kath's going to validate that now. How much was the total?
Delivery, £666 minus.
£6.60. So how much was it in total?
That's whatever satanic amount of postage.
Oh, what were they? $35.99
They were
per unit.
I don't know. They were $54.90.
No, that's not it.
Oh no, that was the case.
Kath's looking at the case.
Oh,
We've got free postage on the case.
I was just looking at overclockers and the price. I didn't look at the...
Dave Hunter says 48 quid here in Australia, so those SSDs are a good deal. Yeah, these are brilliant. I'm pretty pleased with that. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I didn't get the free postage because I'm sure it's like 98. It might even be like 102 or something I paid, but they're supposed to be 35 quid each. Rasher says the devastated look on Mike's face is funny when he realises he pays slightly more than someone else. Yeah. I did get to the point where...
What are they called? NVMEs?
Yeah.
Yeah. You had the postage refunded. It was £3.33.
Oh, £3.33 postage and I got it refunded. So how much was the total bill?
£107.96.
So why is it £107.96 then?
£35.99 each.
£35.99 each. So £36 times... That still don't sound right.
36 times 3.
Oh yeah, so that'd be 108, wouldn't it? I think.
No, that's right.
Somebody work it out. I've been...
108, yeah.
£108. Oh well, whatever. Anyway, £108. Yes, I didn't pay postage. They were £35.99 each. So, yeah. I'm pretty pleased with those. Even though they are wafer thin. Don't breathe on them. Maisie, you alright? Do you want to come out? Need some food? You finished that bowl? There you go. Do you want to get it down?
Do another food bowl. Should I take that one away?
Yeah. Sorry about this, just tending to the cat. Power supply, probably going to use that. Thermaltake Toughpower GT 850 watt, probably stupidly overkill, so I'm considering not using that. Processor wise, we are going to be using the Ryzen 7 7700 because we never use those ever. So that is definitely going in there. CPU cooler, I'm going to be using the Thermalright, I can never remember the name of this thing, the Assassin Spirit. If you can see it, Assassin Spirit 120 Evo. Nice cooler actually. Very, very quiet. We like that a lot. Graphics card, because my other graphics card hasn't arrived, might have to put that in there as a little bit of a stopgap, but we'll see. Motherboard wise, tried and tested, yet another MSI B650 Tomahawk. I'm losing track of how many of these I've actually had now. This has got to be getting on for double figures now. It must be.
Rapper's got a broken guitar for sale, no strings attached.
God. It gets worse. Anyway, so there we go. There's some there's the things we might end up putting in this case if I ever get it out the darn box. And again, massive shout out to everybody who's joined us on the stream tonight. It is massively appreciated. You're all lovely people. And here's a case. So this is the Phanteks Eclipse G370A. As you can see, because it says so on the box. Not the most elaborate packaging, but these days that isn't necessarily a bad thing because we're actually more concerned about what's inside the box rather than what the box looks like. Although if you were a retailer, I'm guessing you'd probably prefer a nice flashy box to generate some interest from the punters. Let's have a look, see what this is all about, whilst trying not to get electric shock. Oh, the other deal I got, which I have not shown you because it hasn't turned up yet, but it has been purchased. I got a Ryzen, a Radeon RX 6800, and it was £240 including postage, which I thought was a pretty good deal. £240 for a 6800. They generally tend to go for somewhere around, well, you can get, sometimes they go for like crazy money, like 220. Generally they tend to all be around about the sort of the mid 200s to £300. So I think that was a pretty decent deal as well. If it turns up and it actually works, that'd be great. And I did actually sell today the PC that we built in last week's stream using the CIT DS360 case. And that went for £700 in the end, which was too little really, but I got some good deals. There was a few bits and pieces in there that I got as freebies off various different companies. So
It's living in a dream world. You ain't gonna throw the box anyway, haha. If only.
I have never thrown a box away ever.
They turn into cat beds first.
Yeah, they're cat beds first, then they stay around. Oh shit, nearly fell over.
Oh, shame that case is in the way. Oh.
And good evening, Shaky. Don't often see you in the chat, do we? He doesn't often come in the chat, does he?
Very often, or don't speak.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for making your presence felt.
He spoke earlier.
Just like Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader. Right, here we have it. The Phanteks G370A. This is what I would definitely consider a mid-tower case. Not mid as in it's mid as in sizing wise. And in fact, I'm not entirely sure of the exact size, so I'm going to get a tape measure because I can. It's actually over this side now. And in terms of the height, we'll do this in both the metric and the imperial. So we are looking at, what's that, 478 millimeters tall, which is approximately 8 3/4 inches tall. In terms of depth, now the depth's going to be a difficult one because it's actually slightly elevated front. So the front kind of tapers out, as is very common with Phanteks cases. They used to either do it from the top out or from the bottom out. They very rarely do a flat front. So probably better if I do the longest section. So the longest, including the PCI Express blanking at the back, 18 inches in depth. So that is 445 millimeters. And the actual width, don't worry about the quality, feel the width, is 8 and probably 8 3/4 inches, let's say, which is roughly 220 millimeters. So
no, that's a lot taller than 8 3/4 inches. 8.
How much did I say?
And then Vianney said
It's
8 1/4 or
18
and 3/4.
18 3/4. Did I say 8? Sorry. Yeah, it's 480 mil.
I thought it was a man joke.
Ah.
That's a lot bigger, man. You've always told me that was 8 inches.
Yeah. Right, so let's go through and have a look at the case. So obviously mesh front, which is pretty popular. People like a mesh front.
Does it come in white?
Is available in white also. Mesh front, and also what is quite nice about the mesh is actually it's quite a distance from the fans. What you tend to get with some cases, when the mesh is really close to the fans, you get a turbulence effect, and it kills the airflow, and it makes it loud, which is rubbish. You don't want that. So ideally you want your mesh to be further out, so it's got more surface area that it can get to. Because like if it's right up in its face, there's only a certain area it can do. Whereas if it's kind of got a little bit of breathing room, it's a little bit easier. Oh, Maisie, what are you doing?
Go to bed now?
So, the front panel comes off relatively easily. All you need to do is give it a sharp tug on the front. I had to cut this bit out of the video when I pulled the front off because I almost knocked the camera off the desk. So, got it. Not too bad. So yeah, pretty nice mesh in there. Actually, I need to turn on the other light, don't I? So you can see this a bit better because it is a dark case. I do appreciate that. And it does do funny things sometimes with the camera ISO. So there you just see it again a little bit easier. So yeah, nice front panel. The fans are excellent. So these fans are Phanteks kind of, I'm not sure if they're their own sort of case version or not, but they're pretty decent. 120 mil, they've got a nice big fat motor in there, so lots of torque, lots of strength. What is odd actually about them, the fans, this is a really weird thing. So they've got an excellent RPM range between 400 RPM and 1400 RPM. So actually very slow spinning fans in terms of some of the ones on the market which do like 1800, 2000, etc. Hello Maisie, can you be helped?
I think she's alright.
She's almost there, whatever. Yeah, nice fans, decent RGB, very quiet in operation, 400 to 1400 RPM. But what is unusual is you can start the fans at a higher RPM and they'll go down to 400. But if you set in the BIOS at like 25%, which is roughly about 400 RPM thereabouts, they don't start. They don't start up until you get to somewhere around about 600 to 700 RPM. So yeah, it's a weird one when it comes to setting them up. So the difference in noise levels between 400 RPM and sort of 700 RPM is completely negligible. So it doesn't really make a difference. But for those people that do like their fans to stop altogether, then this might actually be great because they won't kick in if you set them low enough until your CPU gets to a point that the fans need to start turning, if you see what I mean. So if you have them set up like that, yeah, great. Obviously the RGB still works regardless. They're nice fans and they're extremely quiet. Yes?
Dave Aiken sent a link about Motherboard that might be good for you.
Oh, right, okay.
It's a B650 PG Lightning.
Oh yeah, PG Lightning, yeah. When's it ending?
I don't know. Do you want the link now?
It's all right. Is it...
We'll go quick.
Where's the link? Sorry, we're shopping. How much is it?
223.
It's gone now, isn't it? Sorry. I better do this.
£52, buy it now.
Yeah, it's gone then, isn't it? Sorry. Did it come up on eBay Bargains bot? Yes, it did.
Out of stock at the top,
Yeah, it's gone then, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, so there you go. There's a good example of the eBay bot doing its thing. So that was an Arc B580 PG Lightning. 55 quid. Damn. I haven't had one of them. That would have been great. But now it's out of stock because it's gone. Oh well. Never mind. That is a thing. Got to be in there quick. Right, where was I? So yeah, fans are great. Nice colour. Really silent, etc. The only thing actually is a bit weird. Ugh, I'll open it up. Is you may have noticed this already, but the fans are really low in the chassis. And
They bought it for us.
and when you look at it round the other way or inside, the bottom fan basically is kind of cut off about halfway down the fan. So the bottom half of the fan is like servicing this PSU basement, but there's nothing in the PSU basement really other than your power supply, which will get its own air. So yeah, I don't like that idea. I would have liked to have seen the fans shifted higher. And of course, because you've got this cutout section, which is great for airflow because it's focusing on the bits where there is actually fans, you can't move them. And also there's no option for putting 140s in unless you wanted to get slightly more creative with the Dremel or something. You could possibly cut out, but if that is your kind of thing that you want to do, you're probably better off just buying a different case, to be fair. But just wanted to kind of point that out. It's almost like you could have put a 5 1/4 inch drive in there, which would have been actually quite an interesting thing to do. But that isn't the case, unfortunately. So moving around to the side, let me just move this out of the way slightly. So obviously tempered glass side panel, you can probably see Kath in the reflection. If you can, say hi. It's a weird decision, the tempered glass, because it goes all the way from the top to the very bottom, but yet it's got a power supply basement. So I don't know. I think myself personally, I would have preferred to have seen that glass stop there and have the metal show in, because otherwise just like more glass to clean unnecessarily. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. I'm sure some of you will have your own ideas on that. But you kind of get the idea of why they've done that in a minute, especially being that this is blacked out. So to remove the side panel, little clip, little indent on the side, and that just pops out.
Section on upside down.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah. So as you can see from the back, the glass, it's just got the black stuff there, whereas it could have kind of gone down to the bottom, but they haven't. And then you can see they've basically just left out a strip of metal for some reason, which I don't quite understand.
Do they make rulers there?
Yeah, maybe they do. That's what it is. It's ruler storage area. You just put a ruler in there. Yeah, it seems like a little bit of a bizarre thing to do. I'm guessing that this chassis is designed for something else and they've just modified it to make it work. Don't get me wrong, it's fine, but it seems like the whole thing of this case, in my opinion, one of the key selling points of this case on the market today, especially at this price, is the brand. It's a Phanteks case, and Phanteks cases, if you like them or not, it doesn't matter, but most people are aware of the brand. So if you look at sort of most PC forums, if you suggest a case, there's going to be someone who's going to suggest a Phanteks case. They are very popular. They're not kind of like your Corsair or Lian Li, but they're up there, I think, personally. And they're definitely a little bit above some of the more budget cases, like your Ions, your Game Max, that sort of thing. They're kind of in the middle tier. Some would argue they're probably top tier, but I've not had a massive amount of experience with these, so I can't say that yes, I agree or not. The last one I had, I think, was the G400, and I actually didn't like that a lot. But yeah, I've always tended to think that Phanteks cases are slightly overhyped, but I think that's because they do a lot of online marketing with YouTube channels, and obviously you don't bite the hand that feeds, so yeah, you get the general idea. Anyway,
They always look a little bit thin and tall to me.
yeah, it's
A bit T-full head.
it's I don't know how to explain it. It's a nice case, and it basically does everything that it should do. But I don't know, there's just something about it which I can't put my finger on. Things like the ventilation on the top, so you've got your removable mesh filter, which they've taken the time to actually get some decent magnets and make them thinner, so they're not those big bulky ones. So yeah, that is great, that's fine. It does exactly what it needs to do. The layout internally will fit up to the E80X style motherboard. I know that's technically not a size, but the larger ATX boards are catered for. It's also got a GPU support bracket, which is adjustable, which is absolutely fine. There's some massive cutouts in the top for passing through your cables, potentially for water cooling or for ARGB fans, whatever. I didn't actually measure the distance between the motherboard and the top, but I'm guessing it's about 55mm.
Does it have an HDD light and power light and USB-C on the top panel?
Yes, it does. We'll get to those. 55mm exactly from the top of the case to the center of the motherboard locating lug, just how I normally measure them. So 55mm. So if you're putting a 120mm a 360mm cooler in the top, generally they're going to be somewhere in the region about 26mm for the radiator and about 25mm to 27mm for the fans. So you're going to be looking at what then, yeah, basically your radiator combo, your AIO combo, is going to be pretty much in line with the top of your motherboard. So you're still going to get access to your pass-throughs, all your connections along the top of the motherboard. So in terms of AIO clearance on the top, absolutely excellent. I've got no problems with that at all. It has got a slightly unusual mesh. We'll have a look at that when I turn it around. But other than that, yeah, motherboard layout's fine. There's no rubber grommets. At £55, I don't know if they should. I know Montech do the 903 Air Max for £60, and that does come with grommets, I think. Or did it? I think it did. Not sure. But anyway, no grommets included. Obviously, on a black build, it's not going to be a problem because you're never going to see anything anyway because it's all blacked out. On a white build, it might be more noticeable because the cutouts are quite substantial. Not so much for the side ones, but definitely for the top ones. And in the bottom, in the basement section, you've got a nice cutout there. So passing through your power for your graphics card, perfect place to do it. So you can have some really nice cable management straight into your GPU. Although, in some instances, that might be a little bit offset. So the power might come in there, in which case you've got a diagonal cable, but you can't really be too harsh on them for that. You can always route it through elsewhere if you want to. The back hole there, and also the one for the HD audio, really nice big openings. So even if you are suffering a little bit with dexterity, maybe you've got a bit of the old room arthritis, lack of dexterity, yeah, you shouldn't have any issues with this at all. And of course, if you were thinking about mounting a radiator on the front, unfortunately, due to the way that they've got this set up, you cannot put a rad on the front, at least not easily. And you certainly can't put a 360 in the front. So if you want to put a radiator in, it's basically the top or the back. So the back is a bit pointless, so realistically it's top only. On the front radiators, because of where it is, and also this little cutout at the bottom is only about 10mm, which I guessed earlier, close to 15. So only 15mm gap there. So even if you had a slimline radiator and slimline fans, I think you'd still struggle to get a radiator up front. And of course, if you're taking the fans out, then you're kind of negating the whole point of why this is the price it is. So anyway, also nice little bits of interest. The center lug for the motherboard is actually one of those ones which is like a locating lug as well. So you can put your motherboard on, it'll kind of lock into place so you know you got it positioned correctly. So yep, I like that. Yeah, internally here, I don't really see that there's any problems at all. It's all pretty good. The only thing obviously that stands out that could have been done better, I feel personally, is this basement section. I would have loved for that to be in solid metal and just glass at this top bit. I think it would have made it look nicer, but that is a very subjective thing. Onto the back of the case, usual stuff. So you've got the 120mm fan mount, a little bit of vertical adjustment, about 1 inch. You've got your PCI Express mounting brackets. This is where it starts to fall apart a little bit, unfortunately. So the PCI Express mounting plates are the ones you have to bend out, which I'm not a huge fan of. They're actually like really difficult to bend out. Like whichever way they go, they're not easy. So I'll just bend one out now so you can see it's that on a 50-odd pound case. They could have done it better, I think. And actually the weird thing is, actually in the accessories bag, which we'll take a very, very quick look at, you do actually get 2 spare blanking plates, which are in the same design as the case. So, like, would it have been that much extra trouble to put another 5 of these in and just put them in the case? I think that would have made a big difference. It just shows something about the quality and the kind of attention to detail in a case. Like, it's fine. If you're just building this once, you're putting your stuff in, job done, you bend out your brackets, happy days. But if you're an enthusiast and you're changing parts out on a regular basis, those 2 brackets aren't going to last a very long time, I don't think, personally. Also, as well, this section here is plastic. So this is basically a cover.
Fans on the outside.
I guess you probably could if you wanted to. This is plastic, and relatively flimsy plastic, so there's a little latch at the bottom which fits in there to cover up where you're screwing in your graphics card. Again, it's not even like they've done it out of cheap metal, made it like captive. It is literally a piece of 3D printed plastic by the looks of it, which actually isn't even that uniformly painted either, or coated, or whatever they've done to it. So that is a little bit on the cheap side. It doesn't always locate properly either, because it's not really a great fit. But anyway, it is fine. I would have liked to have seen that done better for the price of the case. That screams a like £30–40 case. But again, it's fine. It does what it needs to do. It's just not implemented particularly well. Back of the case, so side panel is a little bit flimsy, but it's not too bad. I've certainly experienced much worse, and in general the layout in the back is fine. There's loads of room. You've got about 1 inch of depth for cable management, and also every single one of the kind of folded out pieces of metal, wherever they are, they've all got little slits in them. So if I grab a cable tie, say for instance this one here, so you can put a cable tie through there. So you've got loads and loads of tie down points on almost every surface. Even there, you've got one through there, got one there, one there, one there, one there, one there, one there, one there. There's loads of them. So there's loads of tie down points, which is really nice for making cable management nice and easy. And it's kind of, there's an obvious cable routing method. So kind of this channel here is all for your cables coming up, because they've got the cable tie points there if you want to. You also got a removable drive caddy, which will hold 2 2.5 inch drives, which I could actually try that. So I'm not going to put screws in because I can't be bothered. But there you go. You can put 2 drives in there pretty easily. Just screw those in. So there's not a lot of other drive storage, to be fair. That is kind of it. Although strangely, there are in the box. And actually, if anyone's got this case, can you let me know? Is there supposed to be a drive caddy? Because mine hasn't got it, which I thought was a little bit weird because Dino. There's actually screws and rubbers there, grommets, for hard drive mounting, but there isn't a tray. There is no hard drive caddy, which it actually has the cutouts on the bottom for one to slide in, but there isn't one in here, which, yeah, I don't know if there should be. Maybe there should be. I don't recall seeing it on the advert, but is Dino still in the chat? Someone was saying about it earlier.
Yeah, Dino was saying about it. So is he still in there? If you say it.
Can't see it. Dino, are you there? Hello?
He would know, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Or she.
If anyone else has got this case, again, let me know. I'm guessing there's some holes there, and there, and also there. So I'm guessing those are the right size for a hard drive. Let me grab one a moment, and I'll see if that stands up to it. What have I got here? There's a Seagate Iron Wolf drive I've got here. Let's try that and see what happens. So, yeah, I don't understand how that would even work.
3D print a caddy, or even better, get a different brand.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. And weirdly, it's got some strange things here, which look like they screw into something, but I don't know what. So yeah, you got rubbers there, which look like they would go into some sort of frame, because there's those. They're the ones that kind of, there would be a hole and you'd push it upwards, which I guess it might go in there. But it doesn't fit down low enough. So no, that doesn't line up. And let's see if screw holes, they might match up. No, that's way too wide. Yeah, I don't know. I'm slightly baffled on.
Silenced.
I am. Yeah, I've been slightly silenced on that one. I don't know. There is an instruction guide. Maybe I should have had a look at this. Let's have a look. Is anybody in the chat got one of these? Come on, let me know. The holes are for a hard drive caddy are also there. Yeah, the holes for the caddy are there, but I haven't got a caddy.
What does it say in the box content?
So it's got hard disk drive standoff, and then hard disk screw, and a rubber dampener. So yeah, you got 4 motherboard standoffs. Where did they go? So model dependent for options.
Should have a caddy, but I don't know if that means it should have a caddy or.
Right, yeah, storage. Yeah, storage bracket.
So it should have.
Yeah, storage, but it says model dependent options. So
Still no clue.
it looks like it comes with either a dual SSD bracket, which is what we've got there, GPU support bracket, but that is also included, but a different one, and the storage bracket. So yeah, it looks like I am missing possibly the storage bracket. I see how it works now. Right, so yeah, those holes on the bottom, actually they're wider than the drive though, aren't they? Well, maybe not. So, sorry about this, I am working out as I go. So you've got those which go in there. So you attach the drive on the inside, and then apparently you screw into it from the but it's got I don't understand why you'd have the rubber dampeners. There's actually no need for the rubber dampeners at all, other than, yeah, they don't really dampen anything other than my enthusiasm.
Your squib.
Yeah, it is a damp squib.
I love Welly Bob for that one.
So yeah, it may be, oh, I don't know, it might actually prevent some vibrations coming through, but I don't see it would. So yeah, so those holes go through. Yeah, I get it. That's why there's got the rubber dampener. So yeah, that is right. So they do screw through there. Then you've got other screws in there. So yeah, if you don't have the caddy, you can use the holes that are there. Oh, I can't get it out now. There we go. So yeah, you can put a single 3.5-inch drive and two 2.5-inch drives. That's not the most transparent way of doing it. I think I would have preferred to have had a caddy of some sort in there, but anyway, at least we figured it out so you can put a 3.5-inch drive in if you wanted to, which I think for this type of case actually probably is useful, because I can see this case being used by a lot of people for kind of video editing rigs and just like modest workstation use, because it's kind of like the ideal form factor. It's not too over the top, and of course you don't have to wire up the RGB if you don't want to. So yeah, it's not too bad. And
I think Dino had a Phanteks G370A. It's a little more expensive but worth the price, so maybe they have that one.
cool. Thank you for that. Whoever sussed that out. Was that you find that, or?
That's what Dino said they had that case, so I'm not sure if
I got you.
that's what they've got and they might have had it.
I understand. For technical response, yeah, whatever. So anyway, you get all the screws, all the bits and pieces, it's all in there. And a couple of additional blanking plates, which is a little bit of a... But it's fine. Moving on to more positive aspects. Oh, I forgot to put the instructions in. You never know, I might need them again, I'll leave them out. You've got the nice removable nylon mesh filter, which actually is weird because they put a really nice mesh nylon filter on the power supply section, but there's none on the front. So the front is literally just the metal mesh, but the power supply has got the proper nylon one, which is a little bit strange, I think. The feet are okay. They're about 20 mil, I guess. Yep, 20 millimeters for the feet, so just under an inch. And so still going to get a reasonable amount of airflow underneath there for your power supply. You can't mount the power supply fan up. Technically, you could, but it'll be slap bang on the metal, so yeah, you probably don't want to do that.
Let's put a link in for mounting frames, 2 times 3.5 inches stackable.
Thank you, Dutch Jan. So they are available as an additional option. Cool. Thank you very much. Right. Let's have a look at the cabling. So the cabling is actually quite weird, but interesting at the same time. So for the front fans, all three are daisy chained together. So you've got a single 3-pin 5-volt addressable RGB. I did say in the video it's got a 5-pin 3-volt. So do excuse me, it was a long day. So yeah, it's a 3-pin 5-volt addressable RGB and also standard 4-pin PWM. But it also has like a JST. I think are these JST? Let me, actually, does it even say on there? Sometimes they do, don't they? No. That's right, it's not on there, definitely. So if I put this on the screen, can you identify that connector? If you can actually see it.
No, it's not one of them.
No, Otis.
Do you want to go out?
So I believe that is what is known as a JST. And that is the kind of the male end.
Isn't that what you put above Windows?
No, that's an RSJ. So that is included. So if you've got a JST enabled device, then you can just plug that straight into it. If you're just using a normal motherboard or some sort of controller, then you can use that. Is anyone said in there? Susan Robbins says Mike is right. What, it is a JST? Irofen says I have JST adapters. Cool. Thank you.
Come on, you going in alright? I'm going to shut that again. It's not summer now, hoops.
Okay. So the JST connection is a weird one because it hasn't got a load of popularity, but for addressable RGB it's absolutely brilliant because, well, first of all, it's impossible to put them in round the wrong way because they physically won't fit. And also they've got locking connectors, which lock on both the male and female sides. So there's like a push on one side and a push on the other. So it's like super, super secure. And actually it's a shame that this didn't become the kind of de facto standard. That would have been a much, much better solution than the piss-ass poor connections that we generally tend to use. So yeah, that is, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Zero defects, as I really don't like they use proprietary cables.
Well, it kind of is proprietary, but they've at least included an adapter to make it into the normal PWM style stuff. So
this case is built out of parts.
It does feel that way. I'll be honest, it does. When it comes to the front panel connector, so you've got a block connector rather than individual, so I like that a lot, makes it a lot easier. So you've got your resets, you've got your reset switch, your hard drive LED, and your power button, I believe. I don't think it's got a power LED, I think it's got a, looking at the wire in there, yeah, that's got hard drive LED and also, yeah, no power LED, just a hard drive LED on there. So yeah, that's absolutely fine. Again, another area where they've cut some costs. Now this is an interesting one because you've got the HD audio, that's fine, nice and long, so you can wrap it all the way around and still get it into your motherboard, fine. The USB connection, so you've noticed there isn't a USB Type-C plug, but there is a USB Type-C connection. So what they've done is they've used the traditional Type A plug or header, the 30-pin one, and one of the cables goes off to a Type A and the other one goes off to a Type C. Now we have seen this before on a GameMax case and it's fine. The only problem is, realistically, is you're going to get less power and less actual speed through it. So these are going to be limited to 5 gigabit per second, which is still fine. That's still going to give you, I think, what, 480 megabytes per second. So basically the same as like an old SATA drive, I think. I always get these wrong. It's roughly about 500 megabytes per second anyway. So that's going to be fine for most people. You're never really going to saturate that too much. If you are going to saturate it, then clearly this is the wrong case for you. You shouldn't buy it. But yeah, again, it's another thing that it's like, well, why not just add another USB Type-C? Again, it does increase the cost, the pricing. So I understand why they haven't done it, but this is a Phanteks case. Phanteks is a arguably kind of, in brackets, a premium brand. So you would kind of expect it, I think, but I don't know. Again, let me know your thoughts on it. I always wonder if I'm being a little bit too harsh sometimes about what a case should and shouldn't have. And I'll be honest with you, there is some element of personal bias in this. I'm not a fan of the Phanteks brand in general. I understand them, I get it. The whole JST thing on various different plugs is an annoyance, but I said the same about Lian Li as well, so it's not like I'm just singling out a brand. I don't like non-standard connectors. I like the fact that they've adapted them, so I will give them that. But yeah, Phanteks is one of those cases where whenever I've reviewed them in the past or even mentioned them or discussed about them, there's lots of sort of fanboys of Phanteks. And maybe I'm just not seeing it or I'm getting the wrong cases, but I don't think they're as good. Like the G400A and the G400, I think it was, those were like amazingly popular. But as always, it's the thing that Gamers Nexus reviews it, it does well on charts, so it's like, this is the case then. But that isn't the be all and end all. Just because a case has got good airflow, is it the best case? Arguably, maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, loads of massive pass-throughs. I do like the big pass-throughs, especially for the EPS cable. Very easy to pass things through. So yeah, we like that a lot. Yeah, overall, I think it's just a nice-ish case. There's very little to be really upset about. It's just a shame that it hasn't been implemented slightly better. So if we take a look on the top of the case, you can see the top I/O. So you've got your power button, got your reset switch. There's also an LED around the outside there, which is going to be hard drive activity. You've got your USB Type A, 5 gigabit per second. You've got your USB Type C, 5 gigabit per second, which has been crudely adapted from Type A. And you've got the combo headset mic jack. Not everybody's personal favorite, but yeah, kind of, I guess it is what it is. Yeah, this actual top filter fits on very well. But it's strange that they've done the same thing as a lot of other brands do. Whereas they've kind of stopped the ventilation here, but you've still... Why would you filter just metal? There's clearly nothing to filter there, so why do they do that? Like, surely just punching the extra bits of metal right there wouldn't be a huge problem. Because the motherboard backplate is kind of here, along that ridge. So they could have just taken that out a little bit further. And then possibly giving you the option of putting 140s in the top.
Ashley Strachan says, cutting costs. Got a Montec King 95 and no HDD LED. It shouldn't bother me, but it really does. Any ideas for adding one?
For adding a hard disk drive LED, the only thing you can do really is just get like an old case, take off the front panel connector from it, and literally just drill a tiny little 3mm hole in the case somewhere, like maybe where the power button is. Just drill another tiny little hole and just stick the LED through it. That's about all you can do really. You can get those pretty easily. Like I've probably got one here knocking around from an old case. Just separate it from the rest of the loom and you could just wire it up on its own.
Vengence 6053 says, I really don't get why they have so much wasted space at the top.
Yeah, Degu, I'm really with you on that. There's quite a few cases that do it. So again, I'm not going to single out Phanteks as being specifically a kind of a culprit of this, but it is becoming more and more of a thing where brands are tending to do it. And yeah, it's just frustrating because it just removes some potential options that you could have otherwise had, which yeah, is a little bit on the annoying side, but I won't be losing sleep over it. Actually, I'm wondering why they put that cable in there. Yeah, that was something that I definitely, the front fans when they're illuminated and lit up, they look fine, but when they're lit up, it actually just emphasizes how unbalanced the look is. And actually, if I get the, I'll get my extension cables and I'll do my usual thing, which is actually quite easy to do. I think I'm getting closer and closer to getting rid of the Series 500 behind me. I really need to change it, but I don't know what to change it to. I have got the Antec Flux, which was very kindly donated by the one and only Colin Hilton. And I have got those Phanteks fans, which I can put in there now to add a little bit of RGB bling. So that might happen. I am seriously considering changing this around. Just out of boredom, really. It's nice to have something new and different, but I do kind of like this case because of how easy it is to access. And it's almost...
You like new and different, and then you want it back how it was.
I will. I'll change that case for something else, and then I'll be like, I wish I never changed that.
And then moan.
And I will moan and moan and moan.
And then that one will be back.
Then I'll be like, yay, I got a new Series 500. I just gone and bought one for double what it cost me.
But you'd sell that one, wouldn't you?
I don't know, I'd probably sell it. Actually, I don't know if I would sell it, actually. I'd probably keep it in the loft. So there you go, there's the fans on, and they are genuinely, absolutely whisper quiet, and they move a ton of air. So, in terms of, like, if you put aside everything else, like the fold-out brackets, the weird filters, the lack of hard drive mountings, the kind of just the quirkiness of the case in general, if you just go down to brass tacks, like the bare essentials, is it a solid case? Will it cool your parts? Does it cost a fortune?
How's your parts being cooled?
So, yeah, this is all good stuff. It's, yeah, you genuinely can't go too far wrong. I've said this already in the review, which will be going out shortly, but for me, the fans are actually the high point because they are so quiet. Like there's just a gentle, very gentle breeze of noise. Go on.
Why do they do that AI on top and plenty of space above the fans?
Yeah. If they'd have brought that down a little bit and put the I/O on the front there, that would have been potentially quite a nice thing to see. In all honesty, I would have quite liked to have seen a DVD drive slot. I know not many people would use it, but let me know if am I being daft or what. Like, I know it's just an aesthetics thing, but when you look at this, do you get the impression that the fans should be a little bit higher up in general?
It looked like it had a stroke.
It's kind of like it looks like it's all just like melted and sagged to the bottom. It's a nice case. And I know there's going to be people out there that are absolute Phanteks fanboys, or just people that have got this case and they really like it because they like it. It's their case and they're happy with it. And I totally get that. I just feel that there are a few areas that it's just narrowly missed the mark to be like a really, really great case. Like, it's a good case.
Is it made by Tefal?
It's made by Tefal. It's got a Gert Big head on it, as they say. Gert Big. I haven't said Gert Big in ages.
But you didn't say Gert Lush, did you?
Gert Lush.
Nobody here really says that.
It's got a Gert Lush mint peachy swell top head. Anyway, I'm being silly now. So, part of the reason I think personally, now I could be completely wrong with this, but I think the primary reason they put the fans down lower is because the case itself actually isn't that long. And if we get the measurement stick of doom, so from the very back of the case, which you generally can't use anyway, to the very front there is about 400 millimeters. So if that fan was a little bit higher up, that would take it to about 370. So if the fan was higher up, you would not be able to install a 360mm AIO in the top. So my feeling on it is that they've reduced, either they've added the height on, or they've lowered the fans and deliberately made it so you can't raise the fans so that you can still put a radiator in the top. To me, that makes absolute sense. I'm not particularly happy about it because I think it looks a little bit uneven. But if you look at it from a design point of view and logistics, then yeah, that makes perfect sense because obviously, yeah, if you want to put a 360mm AIO in there, then I'm still debating whether or not a 360 radiator will actually fit in here, which is kind of why I went with the air cooler for the planned build. Ira Wolfman says designers should be fired. Oof. Let's. Has anybody actually got this case with a radiator in it to save me trying? Because you'd be saving me a lot of grief, genuinely. So let me know. O'Reilly says if you want an AIA rad in the top, the front fans have to be lower.
Okay.
Yeah, for this kind of depth, it would be, yeah.
Only Mike could talk about a budget case for 2 hours non-stop. Leg end.
Thanks, Rusher. You wait till the video comes out. Right, I'm going to try and put a radiator in there because I actually don't know if a radiator will physically fit. Oh yeah.
Because you're going to knock the door off in a minute.
I'll close that whilst trying not to crimp the wires. Right, let's see. So, just for my own sanity, so what size is this radiator? I think this is 397. This is 396mm, which is kind of roughly what most of them are these days. No one's gonna... There was a few people actually in the Discord when I posted the video saying, oh great, that's my case. They've probably gone a bit quiet. But don't get me wrong, I'm not being overly harsh on it, but I think it's fair to say that they have made some slightly unusual choices here. Well, not even slightly unusual, it's almost like it's kind of dated itself. If you look at the case and design, it's almost like, yes, this is a mid-2000s case. And it kind of screams that a little bit, where they've just tacked on things. So like the USB-C port, rather than making a USB-C port, they've just blanked out a USB-A and just inserted a C into it on the same cable. Which is fine, you can do that, but it also does make it look like you've not tried very hard. So yeah, that does go in. Let me just make sure that the holes match up at the top, because that is often the case that they don't match up. Actually, right, no, a 360mm radiator technically doesn't fit in here exactly. So you can't screw in the... Actually, let me get you onto the overhead camera so you can actually see this.
Can you read Tony's in question?
Tony's... Hang on, where's Tony? Tony, a question for all your AMD fans. My nephew has a Wants to upgrade it. He wants it for gaming. What's the best AM4 chip for him? He's on 120 budget. A 5600X, Tony, would be your best bet. Or a 5700X. Probably a 5700X. Right, so I'm not sure how well this is coming across on the screen. So the radiator actually doesn't quite fit. So the screw holes at this end disappear into here.
Into where I can't see that bit.
Oh yeah, sorry. Let me push that out a bit. So you've got a couple of screw holes which match up.
Hold on.
There, 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 and there. So you've got at least 4 screws you can get in. It might be because of the way it is. I'm going to turn it around shortly. First of all, we'll acknowledge lovely Rasher for this 20 euros of hard-earned money. He says, my wife says I'm the only one she's ever been with. Sound good until she added that all the others were just 9s or 10s.
Wow.
That's pretty good. Thank you, Rasher. Bless you. Right, so that was with the tubes facing the back end, which not many people would install it like that, to be honest with you. So let's try it in this way and see if that matches up any better. I think I can't put it in this way because I think the tubes are actually going to interfere. Yeah, it's a little bit of a... Right, yeah, that matches up now. But the tubes are being bent by the fans quite a lot. So yeah, that way round, it's sort of, yeah, that would fit. It's a little bit of a tight squeeze, but it works. So can you see that? Yeah, you can see the holes match up, can't you? But what we get then is...
Did you see True 2K saying?
So see the tubes are hitting on that fan a little bit? Not too much.
Try having the hose end at the front, is that what you're doing?
Right, yeah, that's what I've done, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, the tubes are bending over. Like, to be honest with you, it's fine because you would likely have it kind of like that anyway, so they would be pulling across naturally. But yeah, it's a little bit of a tighter fit than I would normally like, but it's fine. Oh, I become mad. Yeah, bloody bastards. Right, sorry, let me try and get this back in the box. Good as new, yeah, no one would know. Oh, fuck. I forgot to put that in there, never mind. I'm making a mess here. Yeah. This is my emergency use thing. Oh god, I remember those days. I miss those days a little bit. They were good.
Well, to be honest, it was better stuff on the internet, wasn't it then?
Yeah, well, if you could find anything. Right, so we've answered a few questions, hopefully, going through this. I am still going to put a PC in this, despite my my best judgment. But I don't think I'm going to put a water cooler in it, purely because I don't need that extra grief. So, yeah, I'm going to unplug this a minute. Because I don't need those plugged in. I'll get rid of those wires so the cats don't go crazy after them. The flexibility of the case, I do love it. Right, yeah, I suppose what time is it? 10:15, not too bad. I think we'll be fine, we can get this. We can at least get it partially built, if not fully built. We'll try and fly through it a little bit quicker, and I'll try and answer some of your questions whilst we do it.
Fly through it.
Well, gonna fly through it.
Do the T and
Possibly.
H and F's around the wrong way.
Gonna fly through it.
I like playing with language.
We'll at least get a motherboard in anyway. Ira Wolfman says, watching Mike's unboxing at 160p. So we're going to be using the good old tried and tested B650 Tomahawk. Possibly one of my favourite budget boards. Although they weren't really budget when they came out. But nice anyway. And actually I'm going to use my Corsair Vengence RAM. Because I need to test that.
What do you think of it with flame?
I don't think...
Keep an eye on you.
I think this is brand spanking new. I have no idea where I got this from. I used to write it actually inside the box. This might be one I got from... No. I thought it was one I got from the Kev 2427, but it's not.
Ali said, I thought all MSI was budget.
Wow. That's just hurtful. Terrible. I would argue that MSI are possibly the best boards on the market in terms of overall products. Which I know there's going to be some people which will disagree with that, but I honestly genuinely do. I like using MSI motherboards. The BIOS layout's pretty nice. The BIOS updates are generally pretty good and pretty timely. The support side of things, I don't really end up ever having to check on support because I don't really have these fail. Having said that, this is definitely going to fail now because I just jinxed it completely. But yeah, Shaky says, Mike is a MSI fanboy. I think I am. Like, I had this internal debate with myself very recently. Because like Gamers Nexus and all the other channels, like review channels, who claim to be unbiased. But realistically, in the modern world these days, like how can you not have a bias of some sort? Yeah, like I think we all have some form of bias built in. Normally based on
but you can
like
get away with that by saying it's non-biased, like the BBC do.
Yeah. But it's like one of those, you know what I mean? It's like we base our experience and our kind of our perception and our, be it brand loyalty or whatever it is, we do that based on our previous experiences because we have a bias in some certain direction. So if you've had multiple bad experiences with a brand, you're clearly going to be biased towards them. So if you're offered a product from other brands for the same price, you're probably going to go with a different brand because you have that poor experience. Now, don't get me wrong, some people have had bad experiences with MSI. It's a thing, I know it happens. If you're the kind of the second largest or third largest manufacturer of motherboards on the planet, it's kind of going to happen. You are going to have returns based purely on volume of sales. It's a thing. And yes, they have done poorly in certain regions. It does seem that MSI is one of those companies where they kind of let the regional companies kind of almost do their own thing. And HQ is like a very different beast altogether. Asus, same deal, exactly. Asus in the various different locations around the world, like Asus UK is really good. Like for returns and all that kind of stuff and for getting actually hold of someone to speak to a human being, like really easy to do.
Dave?
MSI, not so much in the UK.
Do you like MSI?
So it's, yeah, it's swings and roundabouts.
Dave, do you like MSI?
I hate saying swings and roundabouts, it's just a stupid phrase. Right, let's get a tiny little Western digital drive put in here because they are tiny. Let's give some overhead shot just so you don't have to see my my mug all the time. But yeah, what I was going to say, sorry, is before I kind of got a little bit sidetracked there, is that yeah, bias is definitely a thing, and I think to say that you're completely unbiased is almost impossible because we're all slightly defined by our previous experiences. Like you think Gamers Nexus now, considering how they've been treated by Nvidia, allegedly, do you think that they are going to ever be in a position where they are going to be able to unbiasedly and also positively review any product after the way they've been treated. I think they're going to struggle. As a human being and as a company and as all those things, I think it's yeah, I think it's a difficult thing to do. And also as well, the bias actually, if you're a YouTube content creator, to some extent, if there is a certain brand which is disliked by the public, if you then go ahead and support it, whether it's intentional or not, that could affect your revenue and your income. So,
and also the reverse, like that Q300 case. Yeah,
that can be a very much a biased thing. Like, I went completely against the public opinion with the the Cooler Master Q300. I said it absolutely sucked, and it did. It sucked. But there's so many reviewers who were like, "Oh no, this is great. It's fantastic. It's got great airflow." When clearly it didn't, and it ended up with Gamers Nexus doing a review and saying, "Yeah, it's a hot box. Don't buy it. It's awful." It's like, thank you, vindicated at last.
Before that, why did we have ours out before his?
Because it's a shit case.
But it was out, wasn't it, for maybe a year or
Our
more?
video was out for a year or more at least.
And you had so many comments. That was one video we did turn the comments on.
Yeah, we had to turn the comments off on that video because it was getting really hurtful.
Bad. And as soon as he said that, I think we turned the comments back on, didn't we?
Yeah, and it all went very quiet.
Quiet.
It was fun times. So, yeah.
Go back and scroll through the comments if you like.
Yeah, I might have to go through the comments on that one to see what it is. If you get a minute, if you're bored and you've got a few minutes spare, have a look at our Cooler Master Q300L video. And yeah, you can see basically
if the comments are off, let us know. We'll put it back
the kind of hell that we went through on that one.
Because if you turn the comments off, don't they all?
And there was, who was the guy who was at college doing videos, budget videos? I can't think of what it was. He had a Discord going. He did lots of budget build videos. American guy. I can't think what his name was now. He was one of the first to do the Q300 because that's where I saw it. And it's like, oh yeah, this looks bloody great. And yeah, I got it and immediately it's like, right, this is awful. And the thing is as well, people were saying, yeah, but you're putting components in there which are hot. It's like, it's a computer case. What am I supposed to put in there? Yeah, let's put Dave in there. So yeah, it was a weird time. And yeah, I was very much fighting against the tide. I think it actually got to the point where it almost had more dislikes than likes, which like on a YouTube video is mental. Yeah, I'm sure it's like 53% dislikes. It's a shame really I didn't take a snapshot of it back in the day, but I was kind of almost a bit sort of not ashamed of it, but it's like one of those videos like,
buying either the Masterbox Lite 3.1 or the Q300.
I did set myself up for a fail with that one, I really did. But I was honest. It was my honest experience of a case, and yeah, it was so hyped by so many YouTubers, it was ridiculous.
From 6 years ago, please do not comment saying it is the hardware. All the components worked in the Antec 900 case they came from, and continue to work in the same case to this very day.
Oh yeah.
The Q300L is the better of the two. The Lite 3.1 is a hot box and should be avoided unless you want to run it with the front removed. Oh,
that was it. Yeah, the Cooler Master Masterbox Lite 3.1. That was the other one that caused me grief.
So, where do I find likes versus dislikes on the video anymore?
Good question. Right, so this is what appears to be the fine threaded screws. So let's get the motherboard in. Happy days. I suppose really I should have put the cooler in, but whatever.
Oh, was that the one where you did that build and then you were like, oh no, because it didn't have a
IO shield. Didn't have what?
I don't know, it didn't have...
Oh, graphics didn't have... Yeah, that's right, yeah. I was expecting it to boot up and it didn't have onboard graphics, did it?
Oh yeah.
Or something along those lines.
I think it was before that, you got that stage of booting up. you suddenly just twigged and you were building it and you're like, oh no, and then you, right, turn that camera off, all pissy. But the oh no was just really emotional.
Those were the days, yeah. Yeah, I was doing a video and yeah, I'm pretty sure I got a CPU which didn't have onboard graphics. It was like the early days of AM4 possibly. Oh god, yeah.
If you show all, then it should.
Yeah, the Cooler Master fanboys definitely come out on that one. Crypto KJ, thank you very much for sending a Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To gift membership. Yes, very kind of you. Thank you very much. Have some flashy lights.
I'm coming. I'm juggling cats.
And it went to Aldrius de Venus, I think that is. I can't see a thing. You can actually see more in the camera than I can through my eyes. Good old ISOs. I wish my eyesight had a better ISO.
Are we done?
Yeah, that'll do.
Did you read them all?
There's only one.
Oh, sorry. Yes, wait.
I did read
I
all.
didn't know you could only do one.
I read one of them. Let's get this bad boy
I'm
in.
still trying to find.
What's going on here? There we go. Remember what I said about it being locked in place? Kind of wasn't. Am I being stupid again with these screws?
Don't put yourself down.
It's like none of these threads match up. What is going on? This is the second case I've had problems with this.
It must be eyes.
I don't think it is, because I think I am using the fine screws, but it just doesn't seem to be lining up.
Dom's in.
Oh god, yeah, it was way out. Hey Dom, how you doing? Yeah, I don't know how I managed to get the other two screws in.
Case with odd case screws.
Yeah. No, it was kind of my fault there.
How was it in there now? It's really hot in it.
It's 23.3 degrees and 57% humidity, which is quite high.
So that's probably why we're hot.
Yeah, the humidity is what is driving it. Yeah, a little bit. Dom says hello, Calf.
It's because I've already said hello.
And there's Stephen. Or, sorry, Steve. It's not Step Hen, is it? It's Stephen. OBG. Don't know why I say Step Hen. I think that's something to do with Calf.
It's George.
Oh yeah, George
he's a
used to read it.
little
Yeah,
boy.
because he's Step Hen Fry
He used to read his audiobook.
on the audiobooks. Yeah.
And Step Hen Fry reads it. So cute.
Americans call me Steve-fan. He's a Steve. Gers97 says is a new up-to-date version of the G series Phanteks case. I don't know what this is really. I don't think it's been out on the market that long. Because weirdly, when I was doing the video and actually putting the tags into the video, it was always coming up with a G400. Whenever I put in anything, it was like G400 this, G400 that. It's like, no, it's not a G400, it's a G370. Gosh dang it. Right, those are all done. Happy days. Our motherboard is in. That looks quite nice in there, actually. Quite nicely blacked out. I think the RAM would have been nice to have some actual... what's the word I'm looking for? Some RAM with RGB lighting on. That's the word I was looking for. RGB. Right, that's fine. Oh, I've just committed the cardinal sin. I've put the graphics card, I put the motherboard in, but without taking out the slots. So these are ones that bend outwards, luckily, not inwards. So I'll give them that. They are bend out, not bend in. So
that video.
That's fine.
That's
Yeah.
why either Cooler Master Cases Q300 out or Masterbox Lite.
Yeah.
Likes ratio, because you're not allowed to have it with likes or dislikes now, so it's percentage. 29%.
Jesus, 29% likes.
So that's 71.
71% dislikes on that video. Wow. That's the most disliked video on the channel, isn't it? Surely.
Haha. Can you order them in the order of dislikes?
No. 27% likes. Woo! 29% likes.
They put yourself down. It was 29.
That is nuts.
I knew it got higher than the likes.
Bloody
It used to
hell.
worry me. 'Cause
That's
it
a
was like,
lot, isn't it?
used to have-
And no bastard apologised. Sorry, Mike. You were right. Yeah, screw them.
You should go through and see if any of them are subscribers.
Yeah. Jers says I've got a G360A. What's that? Is that the micro ATX version of this? Dude Nature says that's their original case. Really not fair to base much on that. What's that, on this one? Or I'm not sure. Are you aiming that comment at me or somebody else in the chat?
Was the do not buy this means not that case.
Do not buy
about
that.
a different one.
Oh, right, yeah. Well, at the time though, Cooler Master were really heavily pushing that case, which is why I bought one. Well, I bought two.
Put the link in the thing. Give it a like.
Nice.
It back up.
Yeah, do us a favour. Go to the video and stick a few likes on it. Try and let's get the ratio up. Although, how many views is it at? About 10,000? Probably more than that, isn't it?
Yeah, YouTube make it so horrible you can't look for anything amazing on this.
I thought we had like 20,000. Maybe more.
Where are we? Oh god. I hate YouTube. Bloody search thing. It used to be so easy and nice.
Right, this is the normal Thermalright mounting method, so it's just standoffs on the top there.
115,000.
Oh, right.
168 views.
So yeah, over 100,000 views, but the majority of them were dislikes.
And 310 comments. Back then.
Yeah, 310 comments is a lot.
That was a year into our channel, I think.
It was the first year of the channel.
24th of July 2018. So we started it in Jan 2017.
Right, so yeah.
So I did think that would end the channel to the amount of dislike we got from it.
Yeah, that is like channel ending territory, isn't it?
You don't really care.
I loved it. Because I thought, actually no, I'm here because I want to tell the truth about computer parts.
Well, that's quite scary because that was after you gave up your job.
It was. It was around the same sort of time because I remember taking the master box back down to that Londis down in Black Horse after we'd been to work. So I had it in the boot of the car because we drove to work and then I got in there on the way home before we come home for our tea.
But we gave up work in June 2018.
Well, I remember it being dark and night time when we went in there because I was trying to work out where we went. Yeah, I think I did after, yeah. Because there's one case that I bought and I ended up modding it to try and make it actually workable.
So the original video,
The Q300 I sent back, I think, or the Masterbox 5.
the Q300 video you did in March 2018.
Yeah, that's probably the
So
one that
that's
went back
probably
then.
gone back and then you bought another one
Yeah.
just to do that other video. I kind of remember you doing
Yeah.
that now.
It's fun times. There's a super chat from Crystal KJ. Thank you for the £5. What is the most useful thing you have 3D printed so far? I recently printed an owl to keep the magpies off my roof. It's working great.
Oh, cool.
That's a good idea, actually. Unfortunately, my little printer is tiny, so I don't really use it because there's nothing really that I need to do. or that I can do because it's too small.
You could print springs for the cats.
Yeah, I printed out loads of useless stuff.
I mean, printing out a ball for the cats that you can unscrew and put catnip in.
Yeah.
But they eat the catnip faster than I can grow it. So I can't put any catnip in the ball because it's all eaten before it comes.
The most things I print with my 3D printer, unfortunately, is GPU mounts, like GPU brackets. That's about the only thing I print. Purely because the things that I do actually want to print, I don't know how to make them in a model. My model making skills or model design skills are absolutely atrocious. So as far as that goes, yeah, I don't really do anything because I don't know how to. I suppose really I should teach myself to do it, but I get to the point where I think, well, I really can't be arsed. I haven't got the time to invest into doing it.
Dutch Jan says every like or dislike is a viewer mic, and that's what you used to say to me, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, every like or dislike is a viewer. And the thing is, the video got the views, to be fair.
115,000 a year in.
Yeah, like, yeah, after a year's worth of doing it, like, to get that many views. And I think it was like in the high multi-thousands in the first couple of months. It did take off, but probably for all of the wrong reasons. But it's fine. It's fine. We live to fight another day.
Shaky's off.
Cheers, Shaky. Thanks for stopping by. It is appreciated.
Why does my cursor always come out of the box?
I can't see a thing. I've got to install an overhead lamp. I think that is going to be one of my definite New Year's resolutions that I'm not going to do.
I've got an overhead lamp. You can
Where?
have a crap bulb in it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, if I had a decent bulb in there, probably, I don't know, it might still shadow it.
Just get some nice candle essence that works. It takes half the evening to warm up.
The sound of that. Right, that's in there nice and tight, so I'm going to now loosen it off. 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. The reason I do that is because sometimes these put a little bit too much pressure on the old CPU, which the CPU generally doesn't like. And I'm going to connect up the front panel, and also I'll put the RGB in, although I'm probably going to take the spur off the RGB off the other things.
Have you seen Mick Woods recently? 'Cause I haven't seen him in the
No,
chat.
I haven't actually, no. I think he was in last week, wasn't
I'm not sure, I don't think he was.
he? Right, that's that done. So let's put the, let's go on to the other view.
He doesn't tend to chat.
That's the main camera.
Tonight, does he?
No, Mick Woods has probably got his feet up and
With his beers.
got some beers in. Which is probably the sensible thing to be doing. Is that Nissan WD-40? Yeah, you're not wrong. Does this case have a built-in RGB hub? It doesn't, unfortunately. No. Again, it is one of those kind of more cost-effective cases, let's say. So, oh god.
And no letter.
Yeah, no Aletta either. I think they've got some bad weather over there at the moment, haven't they? Although the channel that I follow about the weather over there says that there's like bad weather every single day. So I kind of get to the point where it's like, oh yeah, of course there is bad weather. Yeah.
It's like ours has said it's going to rain
Ovs.
every single day, and then it doesn't. And the days it says it isn't going to rain, it does.
Yeah.
I think it's all inverted.
Oh, I hate.
Put mine out today, really, couldn't I?
Yeah. I don't like RGB connector, not RGB, USB connectors. There we go. Try and get that through there without bending it. That's actually quite a nice USB type A rather connection there. That's worked out quite nicely. Nice bit of cable length. Happy days. And we've got the front panel audio connector. Again, we've got those really nice big pass-throughs in here, which is really making life easier. Which is actually what we want, isn't it?
What's Otis eating? Come on then. What are you eating?
That didn't really want to fit in there, but it's in there.
Was it a moth?
What else we got here? Front panel connection. That's going to be needed, isn't it? We can put that through the bottom, and again, that's got that really nice little connection. So that can go down onto the bottom of the motherboard, rather than me faffing around for hours trying to see the darn thing.
Hold on.
Like that. What's Kath got now? Someone sent us a PayPal?
Which camera are you on?
Oh, bless you.
Hold on.
Thank you, Jan. Dutch Jan sent 20 GPP. Is there a message on there as well? Mike and Kath, keep up the good work.
Sorry, Mike's
Thank
got
you.
a rubbish app on my phone for emails. It doesn't tell me I ever get any.
Sorry.
But the usual app was even worse because it had some thing where all your emails just disappeared because it's what they wanted you to read.
Thank you very much. That's very, very kind of you. We don't deserve such kindness. And actually what we'll do at the end, after we've done the stream, I'll work out the super chats and stuff, and I'll give a donation to Patricia at the Cats and Dogs Home. Because although, yes, it's very nice for you to donate to us, and God knows we could use it, but I think if there's someone else who maybe needs things a little bit more than you, it's nice to help someone out if you can. Saying that, today the PC I sold, it was one of those typical stories where the bloke had only a certain amount of money and he wanted to get his kids a computer because they've been busting his balls about it for ages, because you know, kids like them, they want a computer, they want to play their games with their mates online and what have you. And yeah, he was giving it the old, well, we don't have much money, blah blah blah, times are hard, and the kids really want it. It's like, all right, okay, I'll take a few quid off it for you, just to help out. It's kind of nice if you can do it. I think ultimately in the end of that PC, I don't think I lost much. I think I lost maybe about 20 quid in reality of what it's worth. So yeah, it gets the PC out of the house, gets me the opportunity to go over it all again as we're doing now. So yeah, it's kind of swings and roundabouts, and of course you guys are generous with your comments, your watch time, and your donations as well. So it's all kind of swings and roundabouts, isn't it? Give a little bit, take a little bit, and yeah, hopefully at some point everybody's happy. That never happens, does it? Right, power supply for this. I'm debating my life decisions at the moment. So I've got a GameMax Rampage 700 watt, which I think is probably going to be more than enough for this, because I'm only going to be putting in here maybe at the most a RX 6800, which is a dual 8-pin. Other than that, it's going to be the Intel B580, which is also a single 8-pin, or maybe the 3060, which is also an 8-pin. So it probably could do with a 600 watt, to be fair, but I'll put in a 700 watt anyway, just to give it a little bit of headroom, and so that people don't shout at me. There is, oh, thank you, Mark Gaines. There's a £10 donation for the Cats and Dogs Home. Bless you, that is very kind of you. And we will we'll pass that along. Although I was going to say we probably can't do the full amount because YouTube will take off 30% of that in the tax man, but we'll match it anyway, regardless. We'll do that. It's I wonder if I could do that as a tax deductible. I shouldn't say that. That's a terrible thing to say, but it's actually worth considering. You never know. It may well be. So what power supply should I use? Budget in a budget. Go large, PSU Thermaltake 1200 watt, 2000 watt. Rick says, yay, GameMax power supply. Or use an old antique Dell 165 watt PSU. Nice. Rasher says, I've donated to the Cats and Dogs Home directly. Thank you. You did before, you didn't need to do it again, but thank you. Last Man Standing says, speak to Angela. Who's Angela? Not sure. Alright. The Gentleman Bad Boy. That's a great name. Currently listening to you on TV and watching comments on the PC while sat here. Well, thank you very much. Last Man Standing. Oh, about tax scams. I got you. I got it. Yeah, Angela Rayner. For those of you outside of the UK and those who don't enjoy politics, Angela Rayner, who was Deputy Prime Minister here of the UK's Labour Party, actually did a little bit of a foobar and actually managed to, unfortunately, pay the wrong amount of tax for her purchase of a house. And being that she was actually also not only Deputy Prime Minister, but also in charge of, I think it was housing as well, or something to do with housing and rent and mortgages and housing welfare, that sort of stuff. Oh, that.
You usually have anyone who knows anything about money be the money person.
I just realised that's a 500 watt. I can't use that.
Do they?
Eh?
They don't usually have anyone who knows anything about money or banking or do the money side of things.
Well, no, that's true.
So why did they put her in for that?
Yeah.
It'd be better for house or...
Why did I buy a 500 watt power supply? I'm sure that shouldn't be a 500 watt power supply. I need to look into that. I think that's a mistake. That should have been a 600. Not a 750 here as well. So I'm going to go a little bit better. So GameMax 750. This one's actually semi-modular as well, which is almost a redeeming feature. Like for this kind of level PC, 65 watt CPU, maybe a 200 watt GPU, like this is fine. And also, the Rampage models have got 140mm fans, which are generally very quiet. And you know how I feel about quiet power supplies. And in fact, today's PC, the one that sold, actually had the Thermalright power supply in there, which was noisy AF. Hey, this is fully modular. WTF. There is a £10 super chat. Just to add to Mark Gaines' tenor, now the Cats and Dogs can receive a little more. Oh, thank you, mate. Much appreciated. That's very cool of you. Yeah, we'll do a large, well, not a large donation, but a reasonable donation a little bit later on. Thank you all. You're very kind. You're a lot kinder than those bastards in the comment section for that GameMax, for the Cooler Master case. I had to cry myself to sleep, my big fat head on my pillow, crying myself to sleep night after night. Why do they hate me? Like I care. Anyway, power supply wise, so this is the GameMax Real Power Rampage 750 watt fully modular, which is weird because I'm sure it was advertised as being semi-modular. I picked this up for some ridiculous amount. It was like, I think it was like 35 quid or something stupid, which for a 750 watt fully modular power supply ain't bad. And I kind of regret not buying more now. The Rampage power supplies are actually pretty decent. They're not bad. And I've had multiple of them, and I'm yet still to have one fail. I've jinxed it again. Although, well, the connectors feel a little bit on the plastiche side, but they'll do. GameMax makes me think of gammon steak for some reason, says Irie Wolfman. Yeah, that's GameMax. I don't know, yeah, there's something about the word GameMax which makes me think of other things, but gammon steak, probably not one of them. Although I could do the gammon steak right now, that would be awesome. That used to be the thing. If I ever went to the Harvester's restaurant, the word restaurant obviously in very, very loose brackets, yeah, that was what I would always have. Love me a bit of that. Bit of gammon steak and chips.
Shut up, you had it because it was cheap.
Alright, I had it because it's the cheapest thing on the menu.
We always have the cheapest thing, and I have fish and chips.
Gammon Max,
We
yeah.
go into the Harvesters, we'll have a steak, and then you'd see the prices it is. We'll have fish
Yeah,
and
it's
chips.
like, we'll have a steak. Oh,
Gammon
no, we won't, because those are muchos
steak.
expensivo.
And that was before 2020.
Yeah. Oh, we're terrible, aren't we?
And now
Right,
we're
power
at a 50%
supply.
discount, but we still didn't ever go there.
Yeah, that's true. Right, I'm going to put that one on the outside just to give it a few more millimeters. Yeah, I'm honestly not sure how I managed to get this power supply, because it was very cheap. And I've been looking out for them for a while. The Rampage power supplies, I know I've said it 100 times, they're all right. And again, for me, it was very quiet. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say. The PC that sold today was the one that we built in last week's stream. And that was the one that actually had the Thermalright power supply in there. Now I did actually change the fan for a Arctic F12, I think it was. But the one I got was a 1300 RPM. The one I showed on the stream, I think, was 1000, which was completely silent. I love that thing. It was great. And when the guy came to buy it, I said, look, I'll be completely straight with you. The power supply, for me, makes too much noise. I don't like it. Like, you might be absolutely fine with it, but for me, it seems a little bit too noisy. Like, if you're in a completely silent environment, it would suck. But if you're not, then it's going to be absolutely fine. And he said, look, to be honest with you, it's going to be, the kids are going to be playing games on it. Chances are they'll be wearing headphones, so yeah, it's going to be fine. And like, we had the PC running, it was on the desk. I had a Mike's unboxing video turned up loud, just so you couldn't hear the power supply. That's the thing as well. If you're selling a PC, if it's a little bit noisy, make sure you're demonstrating it with sound turned up, or people in the house, or a radio on, or a drill. Just hold a drill next to you. Yeah. It's distraction. It always works. Yeah. Evacuating yourself into one's trousers is probably not the ideal solution to do that. That's probably going to be frowned upon. Only probably, though. Right, fortunately, this doesn't require any SATA connections. SATA. So I haven't plugged those in. Obviously, as with any PC, if you're selling it on or whatever, you can just say to your prospective customer, say, look, all the cables are there in the box. If there's any you wish to attach, feel free to do so. It's all there. Knock yourself out. PCIe, so that is our PCIe Express. I don't know why I say PCI Express, because PCIe is PCI Express. PCIe Express. Yeah. I hate that when people add the extra thing on. It's like LCD display. It's like, well, the D is display. Liquid crystal display. Or PAT test. Portable appliance test. Why do we do that? Is there something wrong with us inherently? Are we all a little bit mad? I think we probably are. No doubt there's other words that you know of that do the same thing. If there is, let us know. I love those sort of things. I also like palindromes as well. Palindromes are good. And that's not the things that are on Fallout. Oh, this is tricky business. I'm sure I can get around it. That used to be a famous phrase in this family. I used to do like car stereos and car alarms. Someone would say like, oh, is that easy to do? It's like, well, it's pretty tricky, but I'm sure we can get around it. Cast brother used to love that. Okie dokie.
We were talking about like the house wiring or something. It was something really difficult. They dangerous.
Yeah. That's right.
How much is this PC going for, Mike?
I don't know. Make me an offer. I don't know what graphics card's going in it at the moment, to be fair.
Okay, so I don't think he really wants to buy it.
Yeah. I would say, well, I could break it down. So, well, actually, someone else better tally it up because I haven't got my pen and paper.
I've got a calculator.
Yeah, if you've got a calculator, let's do that then. So, processor, let's say 140. The motherboard, I think I paid 80. The RAM was 52. The M.2 drive is 36.
Minus postage.
No. The power supply, I'm not entirely sure, so I'm going to round that up to 45 just to be on the safe side. Because I'm not too sure. There's a little bit of a communications thing going on there because I've got two that I shouldn't have really, but I think so. £45. That's about right for the power supply. The graphics card that should be going in here is the 6800, which was £240. And then we got the case on top of that at £55. I think, oh, and the CPU cooler, which is £20, argument's sake. So what's that work out to be?
668.
668.
So round it up with £3 or £2 for the premium CD keys window license.
Oh yeah. Premium CD keys license as well. Let's stick that in there.
Just over £2.
Have I done? Oh no, I did the wrong one.
£3.
There you go. Yeah, £3 for a premium CD keys license. So it's going to be about 670. So yeah, I'd probably sell it for 700, just to move it on. We had some bargains there. I think if I put it at much more than that, I might struggle. It's an awkward one because the PC is probably going to look, I don't know actually. Yeah, that sounds like I've worked out wrong. But so just under £700. Because the one I sold today was £700, but arguably better than this. So I must have gone wrong on that one somewhere. I think I did.
For £750 though.
It was up for £750. Yeah, I'd probably put this up for £750 to almost give myself about £100 profit. But realistically, that's probably never going to happen. And whatever I make profit on, the taxman tries to bloody take anyway. So yes.
Isn't that sexist? Calling them out.
Or the tax person, sorry, I should say.
Well, government.
The tax entity. So yeah, I don't know. 700, 699, 700, yeah. I think if I can get it, if I could get 700 for it, I'll be pretty pleased. I think the graphics card will be the one that seals the deal. Normally, on most PCs I sell, there's often something in there which has been like basically completely free. And that is what normally gives me the leeway to be able to like sell the PCs as cheap as I have been doing. In this instance, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to do. So actually, I think what I'll do is I will put the little palette card in there as a kind of placeholder for now. And also because of the fact I do need to see if this actually works as a system. So if the graphics card works, like this is basically all the stuff I've bought used, which I haven't tested yet. The CPU should be fine. The motherboard should be fine. The RAM, I don't see why that should be a problem. The graphics card is the only one which I could see as being a possible potential problem. I think it'll be fine. Fingers crossed for a post. This is going to look so silly in here. Dropped it. But it doesn't matter what it looks like, does it? As long as it works. He says. The one.
That's a picture of the king of cooking the books. You're probably paying tax on stuff we don't even need to.
I pay tax on things which I'm sure I don't have to. But I try to do my taxes as fairly and as honestly as I possibly can, based on what I know people pay tax on. Like we pay like we could claim for so much stuff like milk, food, drinks, because we work from home. If I'm working late and I have to eat, then technically if you bought a takeaway, you could claim that, but we never, well, we have done that, but I haven't done in years. because I don't really think it's right, but I'm guessing a lot of people do it.
Matt Hancock paid £50,000 for.
Yeah, Matt Hancock paid £50,000 for pizzas
For one lunch.
for the cabinet. It's like, shit, man, what pizzas are you having?
And I don't think
That's got to be some serious extras.
Yeah, I'm sure the business that he bought it from didn't even have that amount as a company value, did it?
Yeah, like seeing that there's only like about 1,000 people in there, that'd be 50 quid a pizza.
And the company they bought them from
Didn't exist.
it did exist, but it didn't have a very high turnover, so I doubt if it really cost that.
And they had a 0 food hygiene rating.
Probably.
Right, which way round is
What
that?
did they have it delivered on? It must have had bigger than a bloody moped box.
Yeah, some little dude on a moped. That's why it cost so much. It cost them that in fuel. They got it flown.
Back and forth.
They got it flown in. Right, I'm gonna put a little bit of a cable. Oh, that's a big cable tie. Got a little cable tie. Oh, sod it, that'll do.
Some people like quality pizza, where they can like quality pizza with their own money, not with taxes.
The taxpayers' money ain't paying for no quality pizzas.
It is, isn't it?
Right,
Obviously,
it clearly is. Yeah.
but it shouldn't be.
Come on, screwdriver. Oh no, look at that. That is a recipe for disaster. Right then, let's see if we can get this thing fired up. We'll end on a positive note. I've just jinxed it, haven't I? Again. Mike, just stop saying words. And I need... What do I need? I need a monitor of some sort.
Were you the milk monitor at school?
No. No. I never wanted to be a... what's the other one? The prefect, wasn't it? Never wanted to be a prefect. I never wanted to be a milk monitor. It's like any sense of responsibility or having to do stuff. No, I'm not interested. I don't want it. Leave me the fuck alone.
Milk monitor.
If I was a milk monitor, I'd be like... I was going to say, if I was the milk monitor, I'd be an absolute chunk now, but...
I love those little bottles of milk.
David says, why not just use the integrated graphics? That's actually not a bad idea.
Bang!
It's not very,
mix it up a bit.
that's not very friendly, is it? Right, I need to get that bloody portable monitor out.
Under that long box.
I need to figure out a way of making it so that I've got... I need another KVM, realistically. I think I need a 4-way KVM switch. Because I've got the Mac and...
Ugly Bob.
Yeah, Ugly Bob. Send us one of those cheapy AliExpress ones. No, I need a 4-way KVM. But I probably don't, actually. I could probably just ditch the Mac and just have the trade-in wires out there so I can connect it up. But then, how would I run it through? No, I wouldn't be able to see it in OBS, would I? Because I need to be able to see it in OBS.
Wildlife Snapper said, if
know.
I'd been milk monitor, they'd have sterilised me. But was it actually sterilised milk back in... It wasn't sterilised, was it? But it
Pasteurised it was, yeah.
I'm not sure if it was. I think it's the 80s that they converted from raw milk.
I'm pretty sure it was. It was definitely... It wasn't gold top, was it? It was
silver,
blue top.
wasn't
Yeah, silver. So that's pasteurised, wasn't it? Gold top was raw, unpasteurised, wasn't it? If I remember rightly. Although saying that,
I'm sure
I can't
it's the 80s
remember.
that they started pasteurising it all. But majority...
I think they pasteurised it way before that.
Was it?
Yeah, I think pasteurisation in milk was like in the 70s.
Maybe it was the 70s, but we were in infants, weren't we, in the 70s?
Yeah, true.
Thinking about that, so maybe I've got my dates wrong.
Right, actually, I've just realised there's one cable I haven't connected, which is for the addressable RGB, and if I'm going to power this up, I might as well show the lights off, haven't I? Being that the fans are actually one of the key points of this whole operation. And yeah, this is where I realised that my cables aren't quite long enough. Again, shitty. Power supply is in the off position. Now in the on position. So, moment of truth, my ladies and gentlemen. Well, we got lights. That's a start. We've got something on the monitor. That's also a good thing. And I think it's reflecting, isn't it, too badly. Let me see if I can adjust that. I can't see. Is that better? Possibly. It's probably doing memory training. I would have liked to have thought. I'm concerned, but I don't think I need to be. I think it's going to work. Oh, there is something on the screen. Reset TPM to press Y. I'd love to, but I don't have a keyboard set up, which is unfortunate. So now it should reboot and go back into the BIOS because there's nothing on the drive. So we should get a BIOS screen now, hopefully. Yeah, recognising that there's a night there. Hey, there we go. We've got the BIOS. Obviously we've got a display, so that's good. Ryzen 7700. Is it showing 32 gigs of RAM? Yes, 32,768 megabytes. Fantastic. And the BIOS date is 10th of the 8th, 2024. So BIOS needs an update. But other than that, we are absolutely fine. Everything appears to work. Well, at least we're getting a display. I need to do some, obviously some stress tests, some bench tests on this to make sure that everything is a-okay. But potentially I could sell this as it is with the £120 graphics card. So that's going to be 100. I could probably sell this for 600. Which is not a bad price. If I sold that for 600, it would have cost me about 560, 550, somewhere in that ballpark. So I can make about 30, 40 quid on it. And it gets out of the house, which is the primary thing that we need to do. But yeah, I think it looks all right. It's not a bad looking case, and there's always plenty of room in there should you want to do any kind of upgrades or modifications. Yeah, it's not too bad. The fans definitely need tuning. Actually, where's the majority of the noise coming from? Don't tell me it's a power supply. That's fine.
That. In 1987,
it's good.
The FDA mandated pasteurization for all milk sold for human consumption. That'd be America.
So there is actually a power light. Let me see if I can get it on the overhead. It's just out of the shot. So there is a power LED which goes around the actual power button, but that's also a hard drive LED as well. If I get a Windows drive, just to start the install and see if it actually pulses or whether it repulses. Oh, come on. There we go. So let's do a restart. Let's see if we get a pulse in. I'm hoping it pulses blue or possibly red to show you hard drive activity. Not sure which it's going to do. Be nice if we did one or the other. Right, it started booting up now, so hopefully you can just see what's on the screen. Hopefully it flashes. Or maybe it's just a power LED. Yeah, maybe it hasn't got hard disk activity. Let's just do next. I don't have a key. Getting things ready. Windows 11 Pro. I just want to see if there is going to be a flashing LED on there. Except
raw milk don't kill you. We've got some in the freezer.
Yeah, raw milk's fine. It's quite nice actually.
It's just like school milk. That's what I was wondering. It does say 1940s it was rolled out in UK. No, rolled out. but UK was very slow on the uptake, so I don't know where I read it. It was in the 80s.
Right, I can't see if that is flickering or doing anything. So it doesn't appear there is a hard drive LED. I'll just wait to see if that actually... What is that doing? PC...
You don't have an HDD in it, only an M.2.
Yeah, you would still have a disk activity light though.
That's laughing though, so I don't
Right, okay.
this Dutch Johnny knows, doesn't he? Do you think the B650 Gen 4 motherboards are still relevant today, as most are now Gen 5?
Yeah, to be honest with you, there's very few Gen 5 devices on the market. In terms of hard disk SSDs, there's basically like, well, a handful. In terms of graphics cards, again, like the difference between Gen 4 and Gen 5 cards at the moment is no more than a few percent at best. So yeah, I don't know. I think there probably will be at some point. I think there will be a BIOS update or kind of limited support for PCI Express Gen 5 on older AM5 boards. I can see them doing it if PCI Express Gen 5 becomes a thing. But they could do it if they wanted to. But I don't know, they might do. Right, yeah, we don't have any disk activity light on there from what I can see, just a power light. That's unfortunate. Gen 8, yeah, God, it's ridiculous, isn't it? Demand 2000 says, if wired to the power LED, would it show? Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you could rewire the plug, just move the pins. But I thought they were actually on there. I must have got that mistaken then. But yeah, you could rewire the pins on the molded plug, so that could become a hard drive activity LED if you wanted to. Like just said there, the fans actually being on is more than enough for most people to realise that the PC is actually on and working. And yeah, it does seem to be working. We haven't had any issues yet, no crashes. Windows has started installing, so normally if there's going to be a problem, it generally tends to happen in the first section when you're doing the bulk transfer. So unpacking the files from the USB drive to the hard drive or the SSD. Generally once that's done, if it still works and it hasn't crashed, you're pretty much good to go. So yeah, it's installing Windows at the moment. I think it's good. I think we've reached a happy point. So that is probably going to be a good time for us to wrap up the video because we've done the 3-hour marker already. Let's have a look, see if there's any last minute questions. No. Sky says, I honestly believe that Gen 5 SSDs are a bit of a waste. I have 2 TB as my boot drive, and apart from benchmarks, I noticed no difference between it and Gen 4, apart from it costing twice as much. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. To be honest with you, Gen 4 drives to some extent are in the same ballpark. If you get yourself a nice Gen 3 drive with a bit of DRAM cache on there, they fly. They're really nice drives. You don't really need Gen 4.
Last man standing as well.
Cheers, last man standing. Yeah, it's part of that upgrade cycle. They keep on pushing faster and faster things. Like a lot of us here probably would be just as happy on like an old Intel 8 series or something.
What's mine?
2000 series AMD.
Fine, innit?
Yeah, CAF system's like 5-6 years old and it's absolutely fine. You don't really need it, apart from game designers being even more overzealous on textures, the bastards. Anyway, I've rattled on for way too long.
A lot of games, you just zoom out because you can't see.
Yeah, there's too much going on.
Yeah, and so you don't even get to enjoy any of all that anyway. When I played The Sims anyway, I'd have it zoomed right out.
Happy days. Okay, I'm dying on my ass now, so thank you all very much for joining us. Thank you for your kind donations as well. We will make sure to send those on some way, shape or form, however we can do that. Thanks for all your comments. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video on the on the Phanteks Eclipse G370A. It's been a bit of a ride, hasn't it? there's lots of pros and cons. I think ultimately for £55, it's in a slightly problematic area, because if you spend just a little bit more, you can get nicer cases. If you spend slightly less, you can get kind of similar or nigh on the same. For me, I think the high point is definitely the fans. The fans are excellent. They're very low noise. They move a lot of air. The mesh front as well works really well. It's actually quite easy to build in as well, as we've seen there, other than a few very, very minor things bending out. I actually like it, the fact that the PCI-Express blanking plates are ones you bend out, not in. That actually, I can forgive that quite a lot. And having the 2 extra banking plates included, I think as well, I was a little bit harsher than I should have been on that, if I'm honest with myself. I don't mind it. A little bit misbalanced at the front, but for 55 quid, what else is there on the market really which is of a similar sort of quality? It's a tough one, definitely. Anyway, thank you all so much for joining us. Hopefully you've enjoyed the stream. If you have, smash the like button if you haven't already. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not a subscriber currently. And don't forget, if you want to, you can follow us on our Discord, completely free to join. And also we have the excellent Discord bargain bot, which is fantastic. And also there's other bots on there as well for Amazon. So if there's any Amazon deals, if you want to, feel free to post them. Yeah, I think that's going to pretty much wrap this one up. I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To. And hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Have a fantastic rest of your weekend, and we'll catch up with you all very soon. Thank you very much for watching. Good night and goodbye. Bye.